marvel at the talents of our big league heroes. But even they had to begin somewhere, because no one naturally throws 98 miles per hour or hits curveballs 400 feet. But just about everyone plays Little League Baseball. It's where we learn the rules, play with our friends in the summer, and get treats after the game. Some keep playing against bigger and better opponents and never lose that childlike enthusiasm. The rest of us eventually bow out, but relish that common link to the superstars. It's where we were once heroes, that place where dreams are born and our love for the game is sparked. Rangers baseball presented by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. What a beautiful evening tonight as we prepare for the middle game of this three-game series. And here come the little ones. Maybe some little leaguers out there tonight, maybe some future big leaguers as well, and hope they enjoy the baseball here tonight. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you once again here on a Tuesday evening. It's the middle game of this series with the Rays. It's also our Little League night, first we've ever done here at Fox Sports Southwest. So we're going to look into Little League Baseball, maybe get a glimpse into the past of some of these big leaguers out on the field tonight, and we're going to hopefully educate fans a little bit as well. So a lot of things to look forward to, including a visit from Jeff Bannister mid-game today. We'll talk to Juan Garcia. He is the Youth Academy Director for the Rangers. We'll have some photos of some of the guys from back when they were kids, and of course there'll be some demos today. And the guys on the field, C.J. Nitkowski handling that part of the broadcast for us today. And so for the first time tonight, let's check in with the big left-hander.
Thanks, Dave. Tonight is going to be a lot of fun. And for a lot of youth baseball players, they're always told that they should hit off the tee. And a lot of times they think, well, why do I have to hit off the tee? Isn't that for young baseball players? No, that's not the case at all. Actually, every one of the Rangers will use the tee. And we had an opportunity to talk with Anthony Iapoce, the hitting coach with the Rangers, and he ran us through why and how each of the Rangers use the batting tee.
I think it's important because I like to call it tee meditation. I also like when guys like to hit alone with their thoughts. You could work on certain moves, especially if it's a new move where a guy's adding something different he's not used to, and the ball's not moving. They can really focus on the move and not worry about trying to hit the ball while it's moving. So it's still, I can focus on me. I can focus on the me part of my swing and get it going, and then graduate from there to front or side flips, things like that. I like the two seams facing the hitter. So you eventually see a baseball, then you eventually see two seams, and then you just tell them shrink it, aim small, miss small, and you're trying to focus on the inside seam, like one little part. And sometimes you're not working the physical part of it, you're working the visual side and the mental side to get them away from their swing.
Well, that's just a small taste of what you will see throughout the broadcast tonight. But when we get back, Emily Jones had an opportunity to talk to the Rangers about their Little League experiences. She'll tell you all about those answers when we get back.
Game 2 of a three-game set between the Rangers and the Rays on tap here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Giovanni Gallardo gets the ball for the Rangers team and the team about to take the field. But as we mentioned at the top, it is Little League night. And so in our Shiner Light Blonde spotlight, we take a stroll down memory lane. What was your number in Little League and why?
Number 13 for Alex Rodriguez. 4, actually was a big BMX fan and a dirt bike, and Ricky Carmichael was number 4.
I kept up with 11 like for a long time, but just they gave me that number that year. They kept on getting me that number.
We were 14 players, and I got number 7. I don't know why.
Were you the best player on your team?
One of the best.
One of the best.
Yeah.
What was your?
A lot of good players on my team.
I played with Amel Rosario, so we were both one of the best, hitters in the team. I was pitcher too. I was pretty nasty too.
No, I actually got picked late. They had the whole team set up, and one of the guys couldn't go, and they picked me.
I was when I was growing up in high school. I wasn't, but I think everybody here is probably the best player.
What was your greatest Little League moment?
Winning the World Series in Williamsport.
We played against Nicaragua, and we knocked them out. It was like 18-0 in the third. I only threw 3 innings, but it was a no-hitter.
Winning a Cooperstown tournament, 12 and under. That was a big tournament, 96 teams, and we pulled it off.
We won like a championship there with him and playing. We were nasty.
So fun to see the smiles on those guys' faces when they're talking about their Little League days. And that teammate of Nomar Mazara's that he was referring to is Ahmed Rosario, who is a shortstop for the Mets. So crazy to think that, you know, from all the places that these guys come from, that they end up playing with some major leaguers. Pretty cool.
And a couple of guys not afraid to brag a little bit, Nomar Mazara, about what a great pitcher he was.
That was a good pitcher, too.
Yeah, nasty was the way that he described it. And, of course, Ronald Guzman with the 3-inning no-hitter under his belt. That's certainly something that you never forget. That always cracks me up, right, with the kids. Oh, we threw a no-hitter, we threw a shutout. And the game went like 3 innings, 4 innings. I'm like, all right, you gotta let him enjoy it, because obviously for a guy like Ronald Guzman and every other kid that threw a 3-inning no-hitter, you never, ever forget it.
No, pretty cool. And obviously, what a great impact Little League has had on all these guys as we get ready for the middle game of this series and ready to see the Tampa Bay Rays starting lineup. The Rays 83 and 66. What a year they have had. Joey Wendell will lead it off at second base. Matt Duffy at third bats second, and G-Man Choi, the DH, will bat third. Tommy Pham, Brandon Lau, and C.J. Cron in the middle of the lineup. Kiermaier in center field, Willy Adames the shortstop, and Jesus Sucre catches and bats ninth for Tampa Bay.
And they'll be going up against Giovanni Gallardo tonight as we take a look at the Shiner Light Blonde pitch arsenal for Gallardo. And this is what he's used this season. 31% of the 4-seam fastball, 23% on the 2-seamer. You will see the slider, you'll see the curveball, and the changeup as well. And the slider's probably been the most effective of the group. Just a 205 batting average against, and Giovanni Gallardo is not allowed a home run on that slider all year long. That is the only pitch in which he is not allowed a slider. As we take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by Methodist Health Systems. Ryan Rua, Delano DeShields, and Nomar Mazara in the outfield this evening. And in the infield, it's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at third, Elvis Andrews, Hanser Alberto, Jurickson Profar, and Robinson Chirinos rounding things out.
Well, all set to go. And Gallardo's first offering of the night right in there for a strike to Joey Wendell.
I would say Joey Wendell probably does something that no current Little Leaguer does. You think there's any Little League kids that don't wear batting gloves?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Absolutely.
He said never liked the way they felt. And that just was a habit that stuck. We were joking a little bit because he got jammed pretty badly on a ball and still no batting gloves.
I can't remember who we talked to earlier this year, too, who said he just felt like his hands were suffocating inside the gloves. And I kind of get it. But I think there are probably some kids who still go without the gloves now and again. Maybe just seeing a guy like Joey Wendell do it and with some success.
You better have the forearms to go with it, though, too. That's the other part of it, because, you know, if you got those forearms, the hands are pretty strong, and your hands need to be strong if you're going to hit barehanded in the big leagues.
This one lifted out to left field, and Ryan Rua is right there to haul it in, one away. Well, a 7:09 first pitch today, and game time temperature 90 degrees. Matt Duffy now will bat for the Rays. So, you know, look, mid-September, temperatures finally starting to drop. 90 degrees today. It's taken a while to get down there. I wonder if eventually we'll get a start here. Our temperatures will be down in the 80s again.
I still remember that 42-degree game time temperature we had. Was it the second game of the year, second or third? And it was, I believe, maybe the second coldest ever. I remember that correctly.
Second coldest ever, yeah. And then
kind of miss it. I don't know. I'm probably crazy to think that I missed 42, but I'm a little tired of being warm.
I don't miss that 42, but I'll tell you one thing: I don't miss the 108s either that we had there. That was a pretty hot little stretch. Some pretty extreme weather this year, not just here, but all around the league. Duffy in a hole, 0-2.
I'm talking about those batting gloves and the equipment that is available to kids now. There's a baseball store I had to go to recently, one of these kind of baseball superstores. I was like, these kids, man, I mean, as far as what's actually available in every color you could ever want. And my little guy finally wore through his batting gloves. They were all sweaty and crusty. There was holes in them. And I didn't tell him. I surprised him with a pair when he got home from school. And I mean, it was Christmas in September in the Nikowski house. He was jazzed. Just warm around the house the rest of the day.
A little comebacker by Duffy. Gallardo handles his position well, 2 away. Giovanni making his 16th start this season. 8 wins, 5 losses with the Rangers, a .594 ERA in those 15 starts. Gallardo played a little league as well. He was a .450 hitter, best he can remember. Pitcher and a shortstop.
Made his way around the National League.
Well traveled, man.
He's a young player, very similar, I guess, to how life has gone for him in the big leagues, moving around a little bit. And that's going to be a common theme, and you do hear it all the time, that I got to believe pretty much at some point in every player's career that's on this field, outside of the lefties, they're playing some shortstop.
There might be a handful of the lefties
Maybe.
who did it too, as crazy as it is.
I got to catch an inning in
Did
Little
you
League
really?
camp as a lefty. Wanted to try it. They had a Little League. They had a lefty glove. I went to camp in Williamsport where they play the World Series. Did that twice in my life when I was 9 and then again at 11. 2-week camp. Super fun. But they had a lefty catcher's mitt. I was all about it.
Just off the plate to Choi. Choi hit a home run yesterday for the Rays. And he's been a good offensive lift for them lately. Lines this one out to left field. That's a base hit. So the Rays have a base runner in the first.
Goes Choi driving the train, I guess, is what he's doing over there, getting ready for the club tonight. I'm not sure what that move was, but a nice job on this breaking ball. Pretty good one. It's down, and you see Choi just kind of stay on this pitch and flay it out to left field. Swung the bat well here so far in this series. There he goes. Come on, ride the train. Or is it a horse? Is he driving an 18-wheeler and pulling the horn?
Maybe that's it. Oh. A lot going on over there.
He's having fun.
Now listen, good for them. That's what it was like in Little League. That's what it should be like now as a grown-up. Why not?
I tried to talk my youngest into, hey, what about every time you get a base hit, you and the guys, you have some kind of sign that you do? He wasn't really having it. All it takes is that one. You know, that one guy in your team that's like the most outgoing.
Sure.
The one that leads the cheers. All it takes is that guy doing it first, right? Out of first base or second base, and then everybody follows.
Pham swings through that one in the count 1-2.
Those cheers are something else, man. You've coached, right? A little bit.
Yeah, I did a little bit.
Can't get them out of your noggin once they start. I'm singing them to myself on a Sunday night after playing 3 games on the weekend. Can't shake them. Good eye, good eye, good eye.
Ooh, strike 3 called. Pham goes down looking. First strikeout of the night for Gallardo at a scoreless top of the first. And the little ones like it tonight. And they're interested in the treats.
Tell you who's running the show in that group right there. Got a little cutie in the middle.
All right, well, we go to the bottom of the first inning. And time for the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Rangers. And the guy starting the show tonight for the Rangers, Delano DeShields in center field. Profar and Andrews at first and short, respectively. Nomar Mazara, Adrian Beltre, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in the middle. Chirinos catches, Rua in left, and Hanser Alberto at second base rounds it out for the Rangers.
You take a look at that lineup, and you see a lot of the righties in there. Only Nomar Mazara, the one true lefty, in there tonight for the Rangers because they have a very difficult task tonight in this left-hander Blake Snell. If he gets that call, that's certainly going to be held for 96 just off the plate. Called strike 1 to Delano.
He's tough enough. He doesn't need that kind of help. Shields 208 with a couple of home runs. And he'll take low 1-1. Snell, just for a little context, 19 wins, 5 losses, the ERA 2.03. This is 29th start of the year, and he's ahead 1-2.
This guy's pretty special. He has earned his way into that American League Cy Young conversation. We'll see how things finish out, but it has been a monster season so far for Blake Snell.
And 1-2 pitch, and he misses wildly up. 97 with that fastball from Snell. So as you point out, heavily right-handed today, the Rangers lineup against the lefty. And this one on the ground towards second. Joey Wendell is there, and there's one out.
Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for the left-hander Blake Snell, which is brought to you by Shiner Light Blonde. 53% of the four-seam fastball at his average 96 miles an hour. The changeup, curveball, and slider all very good. Check out the opponent's slugging percentage on those breaking pitches, just 204. That is third best among Major League starters. The splits are absolutely absurd for Blake Snell. 142 against lefties, so he's crushed him. 193 against righties.
Righties hitting 50 points better. You got to take advantage of that.
It's definitely one way to look at it.
So Profar, he'll take one right on the inside corner. There you see his ranks right now, not in the American League. That's in all of baseball. Pretty good. David Price won 20 games in 2012 with the Rays. That's the franchise record. It was also a Cy Young season for him. And to your point, Snell, an all-star this year, and very much in that conversation. Ground ball, shortstop in the hole. Nice job by Adames to cut it off and charge it just a little bit. He throws out Profar, 2 away.
Let's take a look at the Rays defense, which is sponsored by Jack in the Box in the outfield for the Tampa Bay Rays. Tommy Pham, Kevin Kiermaier, and Brandon Lau in right field. And for Kevin Cash's infield, it's Matt Duffy, Willie Adames, Joey Wendell, C.J. Cron, and Jesus Sucre doing the catching. The way that Snell can kind of sneak in there, you think about what's going on in the American League with some of the pitchers. Chris Sale, probably not going to have enough innings to qualify for an A-Ray title. I can't believe you would give him Cy Young votes in that situation, even though it's been a great year. It seemed like that we were going to see Trevor Bauer make a run at the Cy Young. He has been hurt. They're talking about maybe putting him in the bullpen for the postseason. Now, there's still great candidates in the American League. Justin Verlander, Garrett Cole, Corey Kluber. But of the group, not counting Chris Sale, Blake Snell's ERA is right there with the best. And better than all those guys.
But are we maybe just a little intoxicated by the win total?
If he didn't have the other numbers to back it up, without a doubt. And so, he's got those 19 wins, and that's great. I think it helps his cause. It doesn't hurt him at all, but he's got the other numbers to go with it. That's the thing that really sticks out when you start looking at what he is doing so far this year. Strikeouts are really good, 10.7 per 9. The walk rate is not elite, but it's pretty good at 3.1.
His 1-2 to Andrews, and it's fouled away. He's been in double digits in strikeouts 5 times this year. He has struck out 9 in each of his last 3 starts. His last start was against the Indians. He went 7 innings, allowed 1 hit, and struck out 9 in that one. He's been a workhorse for the Rays, a team that has leaned on that opener concept a little bit to make up for some other shortcomings in their rotation. But not only has he gobbled up innings, gone out and made the starts, but he has been terrific. How about this? Last 7 starts, a perfect record, a 1.32 ERA, and the strikeout to walk ratio qualifies as good. Full count now on Andrews.
The only thing that will get in his way would be that inning total. It's 164 innings right now. Justin Verlander is already over 200 innings with a better strikeout rate, but the ERA is significantly higher for Verlander, 2.67 to 2.03 for Snell. That's significant.
Snell probably gets 2 more starts.
Yeah.
Ground ball. That's short, and that one bobbled. Adames, off the bat, you're thinking a routine ground ball. Instead, he boots it, and that error extends the inning for the Rangers. I mean, such a nice play against Profar, and then that one not good.
But you're going to take these when you can get them. When you're facing a guy like Snell, you saw that ball kind of hop up a little bit right here. Watch this hop. It hits off the thumb of the glove, and Adames, who does a nice job at shortstop, could not handle that one. So at least another pitch, hopefully a few more for Blake Snell. 114 has been his season high so far.
So Mazzara now, the one lefty in the lineup, and a little late on that fastball. 97 miles per hour from Snell.
So who was the Blake Snell of the Gearing Little League? You had one, right? You had the guy.
Yeah, at varying stages, Marty Winchell was a stud. He was a tough one to hit on. He came over the top. But there was a lefty. Mazzara takes down low 1-1. I'm trying to remember his name now. It was Tony. I'm blanking on his name, but he was tough. In fact, he was a guy, frankly, who ended my playing career.
Really?
Because he threw a curveball from the left side. I was a right-handed hitter.
And you were gone.
He threw a curveball from the left side that freaked me out. And I couldn't. I was done. 2-1. Now this is a little league photo of Nomar, but how young could he have been then?
I'll say 13, 14.
A 690 hitter.
He knew it. How do you know 690? I mean, you're really a stat rat if you know you hit 690 as a little leaguer.
Had a shot at that rare 700 mark that year, but just came up short. 2-1. Not leaving the count. Good heat there from Snell at 98 miles per hour.
I bet you. I wonder if he knows his shooting percentage.
Yeah.
Right, big basketball player when things are going well. Does he know all that stuff? He's not like Ice Cube, right, where he's talking about triple doubles.
Messing around. Snell to the plate, 2-2, and a ground ball hooked on the ground to second. And Wendell throws out Mazzara. Snell had to throw an additional 5 pitches, but picks up the goose egg. Well, when we come back, Jeff Bannister kind enough to join us to talk a little League baseball. Scoreless game after 1. And we're pleased to be joined in the second inning by the skipper, Jeff Bannister, as Brandon Lau will lead things off and takes ball 1. So, Banny, we've been, look, it's Little League night. We've been asking people Little League memories. You have one that stands out for you?
I do. First at bat, first game in Little League baseball, hit a grand slam.
What?
Come on.
No, true story.
Do you remember the pitcher, righty, lefty? What size field? How old were you?
Well, I was 11 years old, and it was the first at bat, Bobby Beach Stadium, Lamar, Texas, and bases were loaded. I don't know if I saw the ball off the bat, but I know I saw it going out of the ballpark.
So I don't know if there's anywhere to go from here. I mean, that was the topper of all toppers.
Well, I'm sorry.
That was
a
awesome.
launch angle.
They didn't have it back then.
Well, no wonder you ended up being a big league ball player and manager with something like that as your first experience. I guess you would be hooked immediately. You were in love with the game by that point already, though, I presume.
I was. Look, we played sandlot baseball. It seemed like every day of the summer, Bobby Beach Stadium, and it was so much fun. I mean, it was like a standard time. We'd all meet at the stadium, and we'd infiltrate the entire stadium and play as long as we could.
Yeah, it's interesting, I think, because we talk about yesteryear, and we all have such fond memories of when we were kids, but it's changed a little bit at the youth level. I actually remember a couple years ago having this conversation with you, and I'd be curious going through it with the son and seeing kind of some of the craziness that happens. If you had any maybe advice for parents and even for coaches, because there seems to be a lot of over-competitiveness, I'd be curious your thoughts on maybe some things you observed as a dad watching your son go through youth baseball.
Absolutely. The first thing we need to do is make sure that our players fall in love with the game. They enjoy the game, no matter their skill set, no matter their skill level, that there is a place for all of them to play. That we have become so competitive, so specialized. We think that we need to have our kids playing at a competitive level by the time they are 6, 7 years old. And the reality is they're not in love with the game yet. They don't even know. So the thing that they need to do is just slow the process down, let them enjoy the game, play it, and learn it.
I remember something you told me in regard to Jacob. I remember you saying that he will play the competitive baseball, but that also you had him play what we call, I guess, the rec league at the same time. And I thought there was a pretty interesting reason behind that.
Absolutely. No, listen, there are all levels. And there's something to be said that if you are not at the level of somebody you're playing with, learning from them, and then also if you're at a level ahead of them, your skill set, your maturation process is a little higher, that what you can do to to help the player that you're playing alongside of, and that is the give and take in this game. You learn a lot about yourself, how you go play catch with somebody that may not have the same arm or the same catchability that you have, and teaching them along the way or just being part of that process. And we don't do that. We stick them all at one level. We think we're so good that we can put them all at a level with each other, and I just think that it slows the process down.
Interesting. Now, and Benny, you know, growing up, your dad Bob was a fantastically successful high school coach. He coached you in football and in basketball. What about Little League when you were a youngster?
No, you know what? He was dad. That was the thing. That was our, my place. I had that conversation earlier today. That the one thing I did know about playing for him, that on the football field, he was coach, and when we stepped off, he was dad, and I wanted him to be dad in the baseball process. I didn't want him to coach me. I just wanted him to be there as a fan and support me, and he did it so well. He and my mom both just they took more of an approach. Hey, they're going to take the back seat to this and let me just flourish however I could.
Yeah, it's really difficult to coach your own kids. We've all kind of been through it because we have high expectations, of course, all the character things that we want them to do. I'm wondering about any lessons for you personally going through that as well, dealing with coaching your own child. Because you're right, you're on the field with them and they're like, no, that's my dad. That's not my coach.
For sure. Try being the son of a major league manager.
that adds another element as well. Banny, thanks so much for taking some time with us tonight.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, there's the skipper, Jeff Bannister. We played 1.5, no score. West Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. No score here early on. Adrian Beltre to lead things off for the Rangers. And he takes a good rip. That's Snell's first offering. Beltre with 12 home runs, 55 RBIs. But look at the numbers in September at the bottom of the screen there. 5 homers and 8 driven in. And he seems to be getting stronger as the year has worn on. And he takes a strike here. It's 0-2.
That's a good changeup from Blake Snell, just like we saw last night with Tyler Glasnow. High-powered fastball, but some really good secondary stuff.
Yeah, so Snell started him 98 with a heat. Came back 86 with the changeup.
It's a good differential, and it's really well located.
Beltre fights this one off. Stays 0-2.
They're trying to foul off 97 like that at the top of the zone. He's done a nice job of changing eye level so far this evening. Up, down, slow, fast. Back down again after the high fastball. Always the gentleman. Adrian Beltre picks up the ball, hands it back to the catcher.
It was like that was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and he was worried about the 3-second rule. You can still eat it. One, two. And he comes up empty. A strikeout starts the second.
So I want to get into one of our first demos, which is your preparation as an infielder. Mark McLemore kind of took us through that. Pay attention to what you should be doing as an infielder as the pitch is being delivered.
You have to be in sync with the pitcher, especially in the middle infield, knowing what's coming if you're doing that hop. So when your feet hit the ground, the ball's crossing the plate, and then that way you have a nice jump one way or the other. You'll see a lot of times a foul ball, and you'll see every infielder in the ballpark going like this on a foul ball. That's because they're already moving.
The pre-pitch hop, really important in the timing of it. How many times you hear baseball dads or moms screaming, baseball ready, or whatever it is, and get ready. But it is extremely important. Every big league infielder does it. They have different ways of doing it. Here's Willie Adames, the shortstop with the Tampa Bay Rays. What he does pre-pitch, you see him there. As he kind of creeps in, just bends down that little hop. What I thought was so interesting, and this is what's so great, I don't care how much time you've been around the game, you always hear something a little bit different. And you have a chance to learn something. And what Mark McLemore said there, which I thought was interesting, is that you need to be coming down as the pitch is crossing the plate. And if you're not on time, there was a play last year in the postseason. Anthony Rendon was playing third base, and Chris Bryant hit a ball down the line, and they had a really nice down the left field line view of it. he was really late getting his right foot down in time, and the ball just got past him. That's all the difference in the world. You think about a guy diving for a ball and being ready in the right position. It was really incredible to see that the ball had already been swung at and there was contact and his foot was just coming down. So he was way late. He had to go to his right to dive. He just missed it. It turned into a really big double in the postseason. And those little things, that pre-pitch hop, however you want to do it, as the ball's crossing the plate, is really important, not just for the infielders, but for everybody. That's how you increase your range and get yourself in a position to catch every ball you possibly can get to.
It's somewhat similar to what Mike Trout talked about a lot this season during spring training and his preparation this year in center field. Different with the outfielders than it is with the infielders, but not too much different, right? You want to be in a position, you want to be moving or anticipating moving as that pitch is entering that verdict zone.
Check out Kevin Kiermaier, probably, arguably, one of the best center fielders in the game, a Platinum Glove winner, and you see him on the hop in the anticipation as well. And they're also watching where the pitch is going, watching the swing.
And the 7th pitch of the at-bat, Kiner Falefa lofts this one into right field, and Lau stays with it to make a somewhat of a circus catch out there.
Well, that will not be making our demo reel as far as what you're supposed to do in these situations. Now, Lau does have priority. Pop-up priority is important. And in this situation, the right fielder absolutely has it. Now, first of all, look at the alignment they have over there. But in this situation right here, Joey Wendell going after it. And Lau, I think he called it, but then got a little hesitant. And once you call it, you got to go hard. It's yours. And look at Kevin Kiermaier even watching that play develop. And it worked out for the Rays, but certainly not out of the textbook in the way that you want to do it. That is his priority coming in. As a middle infielder going back, you always give way to an outfielder who calls you off.
So with 2 out and nobody on base, it's Robinson Chirinos. And he takes a high strike.
It's frustrating, right? You're either as a parent or a coach, and you look out and you see your kids a little flat-footed, not moving, in between pitches, sometimes just sitting there, getting stale.
Looking in the wrong direction. I mean, this ball hit hard out to left field and drops in. Rangers have their first hit of the night.
Good job by Robinson Chirinos. That good level swing that we see from him when he is on. Good breaking pitch. It's down near the bottom of the zone. There's the curveball grip. And you see the location, and there's Robbie drilling that thing to left field. So you mentioned not paying attention. I had a dad of a kid I was coaching tell me a really funny story about his brother who was playing in the outfield, and there was a carnival going on like in the same area.
Yeah.
And he was completely turned the wrong way and watching like this big lighted Ferris wheel in like a championship Little League game.
Yeah.
While a routine fly ball was hit to his brother. He looks over and he's like, he's going to catch it, we're going to win. And his brother was watching that Ferris wheel spin around. That ball dropped and they end up losing. Oh my goodness, it is so true though.
Man, it's hard. It is hard sometimes with the little ones. I mean, I like the point that Mac makes about the footwork and preparation pre-pitch. You know, those little details, so critical. I can't understand how Rendon would not be in position.
It was really amazing.
To play like
He's
that.
a good player, man. I remember I tweeted about him, broke down the video, and showed a little bit. I was absolutely floored that he was as late as he was, but his foot was not down after Chris Bryant already hit the ball.
Let's see. We'll watch Adames here.
You ever see Dustin Pedroia, how high he hops?
No.
They did a comp. Oh my gosh, it's absurd how high he gets. They did a comp, and it was a little silly. I don't know if it was Nadal or somebody, but a tennis player, because the tennis players do the same thing, right? You want to do that hop, and you want your feet down by the time that opponent is serving and making contact with the serve. He gets way up there. That's one worth Googling to check out. I'm sure you can find it pretty easily. But Dustin Pedroia has probably the highest hop. It's a little exaggerated for my taste, but he's a pretty good second baseman, so I wouldn't argue with how he does it.
We just saw Wendell with his hop. This is the third baseman, Duffy. He doesn't look like he's ready to hop. Oh.
And you don't have to jump.
Just
walk into it. I'm a big fan of the 2 steps in. As long as you're in that position basically where you're really well balanced. And I always tell my guys when I'm coaching, you have to be ready to sprint in any direction. It's like having a race, but you don't know which way it's going to go. Right? Where you could be like, hey, you may have to run backwards, you may have to run left, right, in. You don't know. Just like an outfielder, you gotta win a race in a direction that you don't know which direction you're going in until the ball's hit.
Kiermaier, the center fielder. Not as much of a hop out there sometimes. I noticed the one thing when all of them get in that position right before the pitch, whether it's landing in the hop or whatever, is the leg spread a little beyond shoulder width. Because like you're pointing out, it's almost like you want to be planted and driving whichever direction it is. And when you do the hop and you land, you kind of are planted on either side and then ready to go. You're fully loaded on both sides.
Yeah.
All right, Adames again here at short. And a swing and a miss. Rua strikes out and the inning is done. A lot of hopping going on. No ground balls in the inning. All right, we go to the third, still 0-0. Power stats today. How about this? He was named the best pitcher and the MVP in the 2000 World Junior Baseball Championship. That's true of a lot of these guys, right? They were the best at just about everything they did on their teams.
They kind of make me feel a little bad about myself. It really wasn't a two-way threat.
I'm sorry, some of the guys were really good at everything.
I mean, I told you I was a pitcher only by the time I was a sophomore in high school. I'm lucky I even made it that far.
That's kind of amazing to me too, for a lot of reasons.
So when I did, we showed you Anthony Iapoce in the cage during the Open, and he was going through tee work, and we're going to get some more of that. But I was talking to him, and I was taking a couple of hacks off the tee. I got there early and feeling pretty good about myself. And I said, "Can you believe I didn't even hit in high school?" He goes, "What?" Because he's watching me. I said, "Oh yeah, that was pretty bad. That was pretty brutal in high school, in college."
Well, really, you think you were that bad?
Obviously, my coach did. I know I became a better hitter well after I got out of college, because I loved, when you're a big leaguer and you're a pitcher only and you're young, at least for me, I loved like shagging, taking batting practice. I was like, I got to pretend I was a big leaguer. As a position player, it was super fun. There was times I remember in Detroit, I was there in the winter, still working out when the season was over. I would go down and hit in the cage for an hour. That Iron Mike machine, and I would just hit by myself. I loved it. And I think I became a better hitter goofing around like that.
Sucre serves one out to right field. And a leadoff single for the Rays here in the third inning. So we saw the accomplishments of Chu. And you see some of the Little League photos.
Game face right there.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Choking up. I like that.
He probably has some pretty good stories about how much he practiced as a kid in that culture, and then both in Japan. Talk to guys about that. It's pretty incredible compared to even in the States here, even though things are getting a little much. I guarantee he can tell you about some long practice hours, but certainly ones that have paid off.
Joey Wendell leading it off for the Rays. And so this is his second time through the order. He is 0 for 1 and shoots this one to shortstop, and it just gets past Andrews. Interesting. Short hop to Elvis. Wendell is on, and it scored a base hit.
This one was hit pretty firm by Joey Wendell off the bat. We'll take a look at the pitching that one hopper, and it got on Elvis quick. And at that point, as much as we talk about preparation, we're just kind of going through that. Sometimes the ball is going to get so hard that hit so hard, you're not going to be able to have time to put yourself in the perfect position, and so you strictly have to rely on your hands. And a ball like that, it's a pretty tough one. It's strictly reactionary, and that one got on Elvis pretty quickly.
101 miles per hour off the bat. So a couple of base runners now for Matt Duffy, and he'll take a high strike. Giovanni Gallardo put a few men on in the second inning. We got a double play to get out of any trouble. Gallardo's 16th start with the Rangers this year. Now, it wasn't Little League for Giovanni, but it was certainly amateur ball when he was in high school. His senior year, he played nearby here at Trimble Tech High School in Fort Worth, and played a ball game against Northside High. And this is a legendary game. Goes back about 14 years ago. A lot of scouts were there. That one just missed 2-1. Gallardo struck out 25 hitters in that game.
You said in high school?
Yeah, in a high school game, 2004. Now
So
here's
they
what
went extra innings, obviously.
that was the amazing part. The scouts were fascinated by the effort, but they were a little perturbed because it went 11 innings and he threw 148 pitches.
But you figure, so that was, he's what, 32 years old, so we're talking about 20, not quite, maybe what, 15 years ago, somewhere in there.
15 years ago.
So, well, just 2000-ish, early 2000s, and we became a little bit more aware.
Yeah.
As far as pitch counts go. But not surprising either, quite honestly. And that's really important for parents. A lot of parents don't know what to do in those spots.
Ground ball, third base. And what a great play by Tyner Falefa to stay with that and get Matt Duffy. Looked like he lost it. I mean, he did technically.
Yeah, he was thinking about two on the ground ball, no doubt, as he's coming across here. And then once he bobbled it, you see him looking towards second. You got to make sure that you focus and recover. And this is a really good example of not letting things get away from you, right? After that hop, you stay calm and you still try to find that one out. He didn't try to force the double play at that point, and a lot of times you're a little bit more inexperienced and you're younger, you get that first bobble and you panic a little bit. And maybe you pick the ball up and you throw it away, or you still try to turn two and throw it into the outfield and it turns into a disaster. But that's a really nice job by Isaiah Falefa to stay calm after the bobble and to still get the one out. But I was saying pitch counts are something that parents are always asking me about with their teams and their coaches, and how much rest should my son or my daughter get if they're pitching. And there's a really good app out there and a good website that Major League Baseball put together called Pitch Smart. It is worth checking out if you have questions. They have great recommendations, and it's really important. And if your coach or your child's coach doesn't know about it, let them know about it, because I think a lot of times people are guessing, and it'll tell you how many pitches your son or daughter can throw in a day based on their age, how many days of rest they need based on how many pitches they threw, all of that stuff. Really, really important that your coaches are aware of that.
All right, so using that table, look up Gallardo. Let's say he was 17. So 148 pitches, 11 innings, too much on there?
So it says here that his daily max is supposed to be 105,
okay,
17 to 18. And then, of course, then they build in the rester, which means it should be at least 4 days of rest. If you throw more than 81 pitches, you should have at least 4 days of rest. And that's where the tournament baseball becomes an issue sometimes for over-competitive coaches and teams, and they don't put a lot of thought into that, and they just look at what the tournament says. The tournament might say, oh yeah, you can't throw more than 100 pitches in the weekend. Well, if you throw 40 the first day and you're 10 years old or you're 12 years old, well, you need at least 2 days off. And a lot of coaches aren't aware of that.
Gallardo puts Choi aboard, but not a big deal. It now sets up the potential double play. Force everywhere on the infield. And Tommy Pham coming to the plate. He struck out looking in the first. Pham, in his time combined in the National League and American League this year, has grounded into 16 double plays. Most of his work this season was done with the St. Louis Cardinals. Pretty big spot right here for Gallardo. Sucre at third, Wendell at second, Choi at first. Not a lot of speed out there, except maybe at second base. And that's inside, 1-1 to Pham. And there's Sucre, the catcher. Wendell can run, but that's not much of an issue in this spot. And Choi not terribly mobile at first, so it's a pretty good spot here if Gallardo can get Pham to put it on the ground. Ground ball up the middle. A quick flip to second one, and the relay in time, double play, and the inning is over. Well, Gallardo got the ground ball. He gets a double play.
Another nice job by the Rangers. They continue to turn some really good double plays. Second one of the night as Elvis with the perfect flip to Alberto and a nice turn to get Giovanni Gallardo out of the jam.
I would teach my third baseman and my shortstop to throw the ball to the bag. Let me decide.
That's the one where you're staying in the line?
Staying in the line. Coming back. to the backside, and then this one will be coming across.
So there's Mark McLemore going through the different ways in which you can receive a throw at second base to turn a double play. You don't want to continue to do the same thing. Now, of course, the contact isn't there like it used to be in the game, but it's still important. So you watch Alberto here. Now, we knew he had plenty of time, and he decided to stay on the back or even took one step into the line. That was the first one that we saw from Mark McLemore.
Now Hanser bounces it toward third base. One out, even the bottom of the third.
Those are great to practice, those feeds and going in different directions, because remember, as they start to get a little bit older, even at the high school level, you can still make contact with the middle infield. You can still disrupt a double play. You can't go out of your way to do it, as you see Alberto there. So he kind of stands pat, and you different options, and the timing, you know the timing. The more reps you take in the infield, more games you play, you have a really good feel for how much time you have to be at second base. You know your runners. Alberto doesn't play a ton, but he's a really good defensive player. You can move him around, and he made that look easy, and big leaguers do. It's a pretty routine double play. They did a nice job. But if you're paying attention, you saw all those different ways that you can receive that throw and then where you can go from there. And I thought it was pretty interesting and worth noting what Mark McLemore said, what he wants his shortstops and third baseman to do. Throw the ball over the bag, and then I can decide which way I want to go from there. If the middle infielder throw is inside, then you're already leading him one way. He doesn't have a lot of options from there. And so the idea of putting that throw over the back so he can either stay there, go back, go in the line. He can go any direction he wants from that point.
1-1 to Delino off the plate. And it's worth pointing out, McLemore got his PhD and was a practicing doctor of defense in his career. He knows what he's talking about. He was so good and very versatile. 2-1, and that is ball 3 to the Shields. Delino, he was an even 700 hitter as a little leaguer.
So right now,
leader in the
clubhouse right now among the guys.
So far, that's the best we've seen.
Couldn't get him out.
Full count. There he is with his mom, a track star, and his dad, big leaguer. Payoff pitch, and Delino fights it off.
Jeff Bannister was just talking about that. I can't imagine for Delino to Shields, right? Your dad is a big league player, but a good one. It's a different game, and I say a different game, I mean as a parent, because your kids don't care that much. They're happy and they're impressed by you. That's my dad, but you're still just their dad. And so when you're trying to teach them baseball and you come from a lot of experience, it can be a little bit of a challenge at times.
This ball up the middle, backhand stop by Wendell, and his throw in time. 2 away here in the third inning. All right, well, the best little leaguer among us, no doubt, was Emily Jones.
Not even close, but it is time for Progressive Fan of the Game. It is Jason Hicks, and you know, I've gotten brownie points for men before when they do something nice for their girlfriends. This time I'm getting brownie points for the girlfriend because it's Jason's birthday, and your girlfriend let me know she's out of town, but she's the one who convinced me to give you Fan of the Game. So what do you want to say to your girlfriend, Jessica, right now?
I want to tell her I love her. Thank you, Jessica. This means a lot to me. You're the best, and I love you.
Look at how sweet you guys. Back to you.
Hey, CJ. Hey, David.
Oh, he called you David.
That's right. Yeah,
That's right. It's
a
right.
little formal here.
And so should you. All right. Well, 2 outs here. And Profar waves at that one. It's 0-2.
It's a pretty good girlfriend. That's a nice job.
Yeah.
Planning ahead.
That's very cool. Well, Profart grounded out in the first inning. A lot of ground ball outs here early on. And it just does stay alive there. 97 miles per hour. Snell's had to work a little bit. Rangers have done a good job of pushing that pitch count up. The error in the first inning cost Snell 5 pitches. And his 0-2. That's a little bit low. Profar, our TXU Energy Power player to watch. And yeah, he knew a little something about Little League. Won the World Series in 2004, had a 2-run homer, the championship game. Curacao beating the United States. And he was a superstar in that thing. He strikes out here. Third strikeout of the night for Snell. And so we go to the 4th inning tonight. Still no score.
Rockies trying to hang on. The wild card and the National League West. That would have been a big loss.
Well, we go here to the 4th inning. Brandon Lau to lead things off. And joining us here in the booth, Juan Garcia.
Garcia, right? Yes. You got it. First try.
Now, Director of Baseball Youth Academy.
First try on camera.
First try on camera. I mean, we got it. But anyway, Director of Baseball at the Youth Academy for the Rangers. And that's a busy job, right? You got a lot of kids coming through there.
Yeah, I'd say over the past year, easily just through our training program, we had about 3,500 kids come through. In the summer, we had during our RBI League another 350 kids. Another 300 through Mercy Street Little League. So just the activation was pretty nonstop, whether it be in the evening times, during the day in the summer when the kids need a place to go. So it's been busy down there. It's been a fun ride.
Has it been a spot where there are a lot of these kids coming in? Is it their first exposure to some baseball, or are these some kids that have been playing for a little while?
Well, it's really unique for us because we have the opportunity to put together and develop programming for kids who kind of are on both ends of the spectrum. There's those kids who don't have a glove, don't have a bat, a helmet, anything, and they're just coming out. First touch point with the game is at the academy at a big league facility, basically.
It's beautiful.
And then we have those kids that are a little bit more advanced but aren't fortunate enough to have some of those opportunities that other kids have in some of the elite showcase experiences or tournament ball. So we try and provide opportunities that meets the needs and expectations of both ends of the spectrum.
That's a real concern with the game right now, right? As far as what is happening to the youth game and how expensive it has become in some of the tournaments. And I deal with it having 2 boys and gone through it. I hate it, to be honest with you. I hate where the game has gone because it can become a little bit exclusive, and that's an issue. But it sounds like you guys are doing a pretty good job of tackling the opportunity, at least the possibility of opening some doors for some folks and giving them some more opportunities. Do you think we'd ever see changes on the other side where some of this stuff has gotten so nuts and out of control that is there something on that side of the travel ball experience that you could see that would change, that would be helpful?
You know, it's remarkable the amount of games and innings that these kids play with that travel ball experience. For us, we're really trying to balance that. Like, there was a big push for us to have a huge fall ball league, and we're like, listen, we're going to take a step back. You guys need a chance to rest your arms, play another sport, and do something a little bit different. So for us, it's very important to find that balance and not overwork these kids, but still find a happy medium to provide those opportunities. And Major League Baseball has done a tremendous job with putting together special events like the Breakthrough Series and the Elite Development Invitational for those kids that are advanced and quality players both in baseball and softball, but again, don't have those unique opportunities to get in front of scouts and whether they be collegiate or professional.
All right, one of the things I loved when we saw some pictures there a moment ago, some of the girls playing softball. We see girls playing baseball too, and a lot of times, in fact, one of my boys played on a team with a young girl, and she was unbelievable. How far do they, those opportunities extend for the young ladies?
Sure. So we don't necessarily push the girls to play softball if they want to play baseball. There's a young lady who was on the all-star team for the softball league in the RBI program who could have very easily made the boys team, I would say, as with her glove alone. So it's a unique experience, and we do have some of the younger girls that want to play baseball, and we allow them to. And again, Major League Baseball does a really good job with providing young ladies the opportunity to play both baseball or softball, depending on what they want to do and pursue.
It seems like it'll just be a matter of time before we see that first woman play professional, not just professional, we've seen it, but really kind of make a name for herself and potentially knock on the door of getting into big leagues. Our ball girls here, we've seen a pretty unbelievable arms. They put Dave to shame. We've seen it a couple times. They've shown it off and warming up the outfielder. So that is certainly a great part of what you guys are doing. The facility itself is absolutely gorgeous. I got to believe that the Rangers Academy has got to be the envy of pretty much the rest of the country.
I've had an opportunity to visit a number of the academies, and as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I would hold ours up against anyone's, and it was a really just a unique opportunity for me to come here and have the ability to run that facility and try and make an impact in the West Dallas community. again, having seen it, I tell everybody that when they ask me, how could you, leave Miami, because I'm originally from Miami, and they're like, once you see this facility, you'll know exactly why. And I've had some friends come by and check it out, some colleagues at other clubs see it, and it's impressive, and we're really proud of it. And we hope that members of that community really take ownership of it and understand that it was put in that community for them and for that reason.
Yeah, I think of those facilities compared to what I used to play on growing up in Nebraska. Now, I think kind of an important question is, I used to play in blue jeans. The kids still playing blue jeans. Got any kids who show up in blue jeans? Tell me if they do, you let them play.
I'll say this: we do have kids occasionally show up in some blue jeans, like Benny the Jet Rodriguez in the Sandlot. So that does happen from time to time, and we have some baseball and softball pants on hand to maybe give them for the next time they come out.
Okay, that's awesome. Cool. That's cool. We can all take a hint. We can take a hint. Just as long as we're showing plenty of love to those kids with the blue jeans.
Tell me a little bit about how you got involved in this line of work, gentlemen. It seems pretty rewarding. You're doing some pretty important stuff in the community, but what drew you to this line of work? And you mentioned coming here and people saying, well, why would you leave Miami? But maybe the process of what you do, how you got there, and how that decision ultimately came for you to come here to the DFW area.
Sure. Well, I've always really been passionate about youth sports and youth baseball, and I actually am a product of the RBI program. I played RBI baseball in Miami, and again, having the opportunity to start my career in South Florida and really work with that program and make an impact and see what a difference it can make in young people's lives, and see some of these kids who, go from not having a, school looking at them, not committed to college after their junior year, and then go on and play, Division I baseball or end up getting drafted after not even being committed going into their senior year. It's exciting, and seeing those kids go on and continue to do great things, both on the field and even off the field. One of my favorite stories is a player who, a softball player, was average ball player, nothing exciting, didn't think that we made that much of an impact, and I got an email from her like 6 years later saying, hey, I graduated yesterday and just wanted to tell you how important that program was to me. So it's those kind of things and those stories that really make it worth it.
That's awesome. You're doing some great work. Obviously the facility is great, but those kind of stories, I gotta believe that's what makes it worth it.
Absolutely.
Well, nicely done, Juan. I mean, that's an awesome way to end that part of the conversation, man. Appreciate so much what you do for the game of baseball, for the Rangers Baseball Youth Academy, and appreciate you taking a little time up here and take care of those kids with the blue jeans.
Absolutely.
Juan Garcia,
thank you
so much.
It, brother.
All right. Yeah, there we go. See that little fella? He's got a chance. That was part of it for me when I was a kid, CJ. It was like, I don't know about you, but there was a small little league, and there were like 8 fields and 1 snack shack.
8 fields is pretty big.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were.
We only had 3.
Is that right?
Yeah, and 1 was the big field for 13 and up. We basically had a 9 to 10, an 11 to 12, and then the 13 up field. There's just 3 of them.
Now, did they all have fences?
Not the big one.
Oh, really?
The big one, you could go to right center and roll down to the softball field at the other end.
Our big one was the only one that had the fence. And Adames hits this ball well out to center field. The shield's back near the wall, reaches up, but that one is gone. The first pitch homer for Adames, his 10th of the year. And Tampa Bay gets the first 2 runs of the game tonight.
Gallardo started this inning off with a couple of strikeouts, and it looked like he was cruising along, but it's the walk to Kevin Kiermaier, and then this 4-seam fastball that caught just a little bit too much of the plate. You see it right down the middle. Delano DeShields giving chase, but he runs out of room as that ball reaches the grass out in center field on the hill. That ball was well struck. 106 miles an hour, 424 feet.
Yeah, that thing was pretty well squared up. So 2-0 Tampa Bay. Jesus Sucre singled in the 3rd. Kiermaier walk an 8-pitch at bat and really set things up. Sometimes I wonder, you get in a battle like that, you lose Kiermaier with 2 outs. And I don't know how much it affects that first pitch then, but the first pitch was turned around in a hurry there by Adames.
Well, you're certainly trying to get ahead and maybe not thinking about trying to live on the corner, especially when you're at the 8-hole hitter in the lineup. But Adames was ready for that one and jumped all over that first pitch.
2-1. Slow roller foul, 2-2.
I'll take a look at it one more time here. There's the four-seam fastball grip. You'll see Robinson Chirino set up on the outside corner, had to come back a little dead center, and that StatCast AI is powered by AWS. I mentioned 106 miles per hour and 424 feet. Did you have any over the fencers in Little League?
Just the one when I was
when you tripped?
Teenager, and I tripped coming around third. I had a couple that, you know, rolled forever when I was younger. And you just get it by the left fielder, and there's nothing to stop it. There was, and you know, it'd been a long time. Look at Carlos Gomez making a nice bare hand play. The former Ranger still getting some love here from the fans. Oh man, I miss his antics.
Yeah, hasn't been playing much, right? And doesn't matter for Carlos Gomez. Still having fun at the ballpark and enjoying being in a big league uniform.
Sucre out to left center field, and that one gets down. The Shields will track it down in a hurry. Sucre will head to second, and he has a 2-out double.
Now, you might have watched this a little bit and wondered about Delino DeShields' route, but this is actually not a bad route because he knows he's got a slow runner, and so he can go direct to the ball and take a chance and see if maybe he can get to this. As you see him coming across. Now watch as this ball lands, and he actually has to go back to chase it a little bit, and more often than not as an outfielder you try to get around the ball and then come in. But he knows his runner, and he wanted to take a chance and see if he could get there quick enough to maybe lay out. When he realized that he couldn't because of the height of the ball, he then knew he had time to get behind. Now, if he did that with a Kevin Kiermaier, that's probably a triple. But because it's Sucre, he knows he can afford to take that chance. And that's why it's so important. Not only we show you the pre-pitch prep, but also understanding who's up, know your runners, all that kind of stuff, their tendencies. It's all part of the equation when you're sitting out there in the outfield. Known as the boring position when you're younger, but
right,
not really.
Wendell 1 for 2, and he lofts this one to shallow center field. That's a tough play. The Shields can't smother it, and it gets past him. Sucre scores. Wendell with the RBI double, and the Rays lead 3-0. Meanwhile, this inning getting very long for Giovanni Gallardo, closing in on 30 pitches for the inning and 75 pitches for the night.
The ball wasn't hit very hard by Joey Wendell. This is a great hustle double. Delino DeShields thought maybe he'd have a chance to dive for it. He wasn't very close, and because he ended up missing it on the dive, that allowed Wendell to go down to second base, and he can run a little bit. Great effort by Delino, but he didn't have a chance to get to that one.
So a little conversation on the hill after the Wendell double, and Brocale heads back to the dugout. Part of that might be buying a little time for the bullpen as well. A long half inning here for Giovanni Gallardo. Duffy 0 for 2. He's bounced back to the mound. He's grounded out to third. Rays have opened the scoring tonight in this fourth inning, and a ground ball shortstop, and Andrews makes the routine play. Inning over, but it's a 3-run inning for Tampa Bay. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Rangers offense needs to get going. Right. Cool shot of the ballpark. Globe Life Park on this Tuesday night. 3-0. Rays with the lead. Well, we're calling it Fandemonium. Rangers and Rays tomorrow, 1:05. $1 tickets, $1 parking, and $1 hot dogs, courtesy of 105.3 The Fan. Use the online coupon code 1, TexasRangers.com/specials. It's your last chance for a midweek day game. And you couldn't make it any easier than that.
So if you're a kid, what's your favorite $1 item? You could care less about the parking as a kid, right? That's mom and dad.
Not
you
an
take care
issue.
of that.
clearly the hot dog.
It's a pretty exciting one.
Yeah, I mean, you grab a fistful of ones and come out and eat.
I ran into some Ranger fans on the elevator the other day, and they had wanted to bring up some of our hot dog condiment talk. And she says, no barbecue sauce? You haven't even brought up barbecue sauce.
I've never even thought of it.
Yeah, me neither. And she was all about it. All about the barbecue sauce on the hot dog. Over ketchup. Mustard second. I'm still mustard first, but I could see it.
Barbecue sauce. It's
How about the hot dog, a little bit of pulled pork on the sides, and then top it with barbecue sauce? Sold. That would do it for me.
I'm in. I'll be right back. 2-2 the count on Andrews.
Yeah, by the way, you were talking about the ballpark when you as a kid, you go into the field, and we were talking about fences and obviously treats.
Yes.
What was the go-to? Was there a go-to?
Mike and Ike's.
Oh, nice.
I would say, in fact, yeah. I mean, I was all about getting the Mike and Ike.
Did you always get them, or was it a treat once in a while?
No, it was depending on how much we got. You know, one parent would say like, okay, everybody gets a quarter at the snack shack.
Yeah. Good old days.
I don't know if that was enough or not. I can't quite remember. Sometimes it was a dime. Get a snow cone. Maybe cotton candy.
Fun Dip was the go-to for me.
Yeah, that was.
And
a good
forget about the sugar. I just want to eat the stick. Yeah, I could care less. I mean, the sugar powder was good, but the stick.
Really?
Oh yeah, the stick was fantastic. And then when I think about Fun Dip, I don't know, 98% sugar. That's all it was.
Surprised it wouldn't be a little higher than that.
That's pretty amazing that was a snack that they would allow children to eat. But the sticks were tremendous. They were they're almost like it was like a confectionery sugar that they made really hard into a stick, and that's what you dipped in.
Yeah.
You licked your stick, you stuck it in. If you had the 3-pack with the 3 different flavors, dig in. Sometimes get a little crazy, dip it in each. But it was your saliva that kept the sugar on the stick.
Right.
And the challenge was when you lick the sugar off, not to bite the stick. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean.
And I ate it every time. I never got through the sugar because the stick was so good.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that I ever did bite the stick.
Oh, man.
Because I knew there was more sugar waiting in those packets.
It's a different kind of sugar. The texture on those Fun Dip sticks were pretty special.
Yeah. It wasn't quite Pop Rocks.
No.
But pretty good. So a leadoff walk by Andrews. A 7-pitch walk. So again, they continue to work some of these at-bats against Snell. Already had 5 at-bats tonight. Go 7 or more pitches. So they have been patient, which is interesting because talking to Jeff Bannister today before the ball game, he said Snell's not a guy that you can really wait on. Once you see a good pitch, you are probably best going after it. I had assumed that they would be real aggressive against him. 1-1, but they've been patient. Have the 1 hit, the 1 walk, and Andrews also reached on an error earlier, but that is it so far. Omar grounded out in the first. He's 0 for 1. Number 2.
It's a really good breaking ball. 81 miles an hour. You see the depth on that pitch. Nomar Mazara has done a pretty good job this year. He's put together good at-bats against lefties, but that kind of swing, you don't see it too often. He's smiling about it now because there haven't been too many lefties that have coached these kind of swings out of Nomar Mazara. He missed it by a lot. He was off balance. That's not Nomar Mazara. That's more about how good that breaking ball was from Blake Snell.
Foul away. Stays 1-2. Set up away, and it is away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Every pitch, every moment, an opportunity for Elvis. He's involved in all of it. Little lead over there. Snell's 2-2, and Mazara earns another one.
It's a good foul ball if there ever is such a thing. You got a tough lefty right now. We mentioned how good he has been against lefties. 142 coming into this one. That's a good swing and miss pitch that he just threw to Nomar Mazara that he was able to foul off. Small little victories against a tough lefty.
So Elvis got on via the walk, a 7-pitch at bat. This will be the 7th pitch here to Mazara. 2-2. And there will be another.
That's amazing. So that ball went into the second deck here in the 200 sections. Bounced down. And literally the guy that got it didn't even turn around. He was just sitting there and the ball landed pretty much in his seat. Some kind of lucky right there. And that might be the least amount of effort ever put into getting a ball in a big league game.
2-2. And the fastball is off the plate. Full count. Another 3-ball count. A better at bat to the night by a Ranger. That's the only left-handed hitter in the lineup. Snell's payoff. Oh, strike 3 call. Wow.
Tough one for Nomar. We want to show you with Elvis Andrus on first base, secondary leads and how important they are. Now it's tough to do against Snell, but Tony Beasley did a nice job of walking us through what you're supposed to do with your secondary lead.
Secondary lead, I want to stay athletic here on my setup, and when I'm a secondary lead, I just want to basically shuffle, just boom, boom. I want to stay low, but I want my momentum here. But I want to be balanced so where I can get back as well. So if you stay under control on your secondary, you gain distance and direction to the next base. But under control, as if when the ball's through the hitting zone, as soon as the catcher receives, you take a crossover back. You get some momentum going back towards first base.
Well, unfortunately, the 6-4-3 ends the inning. As we'll have more on that when we come back. 5th inning coming. It's 3-0.
Andrus working at first base and pretty much doing exactly that. You see the balance. That gives you the opportunity to go either way if you have to get back on a back pick or you need to take off the momentum. And it's kind of interesting, I think, how both the secondary lead and the pre-pitch hop, how a lot of times you just end up in that same good athletic position and ready to move and ready to go. That's another thing that I think is really hard for kids. I tell my guys now I'm helping out with an 11-year-old team and them getting comfortable, being aggressive, taking secondary leads. And I tell them, especially in the fall if we're scrimmaging, go be aggressive. Take a big secondary lead. That's the difference between being safe or out by a foot on the close play or your coach having the confidence to send you to take the extra base because you did get a good secondary lead, right? A base hit to right field, and if Elvis has a good secondary, Tony Beasley is confident rounding him and having him come to third. If he doesn't get a good jump and doesn't have a good secondary, he may have to hold him up at second base. It might not seem like much. Secondary leads are so important.
G-Man Choi. The count 2-1, and he takes one down low, ball 3. All right, Tom Grieve, I believe, joining us. There's Tom. So Tom, Little League night, and you know where I come down on this. I feel like the great ones at some point probably played the game in blue jeans. As this one grounded to second base, Choi retired, 1 away. You ever got what about an enduring memory for you from Little League?
Well, Dave, I didn't play in blue jeans, but I'll never forget my first uniform. I had no idea how to put the socks on. Back then, you had to wear a pair of your own socks underneath the stirrup socks, which weren't really elastic. So you had to figure out how to make them stay up, how to tuck your uniform underneath it. and twist it a little bit to make it do that. I remember my dad teaching me how to do that. I can remember going to my first Little League game with a yellow belt on. There was no belts that came with it. We had red uniforms, and I had a yellow belt. And underneath my Elks Club flannel jersey, I had a navy blue short sleeve shirt with a collar on. And I felt like I was going to play at Yankee Stadium. I'll never forget what it felt like to step up to the plate in our Little League in front of, parents, basically, for that first game. It was the greatest feeling. And, you guys played Little League, and I'm sure you shared that same feeling in that same moment.
Yeah, that is awesome. I'm surprised to hear you, talk about it in those terms now, because you played in the big leagues, you played at such a high level, but the Little League, you still remember that feeling as a youngster.
Absolutely. It's kind of where it all started. And back then, I grew up in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. My Little League days were probably 1958 to 1962. In Little League back then, it was 9 to 12. There wasn't any T-ball. There was no coach pitch. You tried out for the Little League when you were 9, and if you made the team, then you played against 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. That's just kind of the way it was. If you didn't make the Little League, then you played in some kind of a minor league organization that was not related to the Little League. So, yeah, it was important to make a team, and as a 9-year-old, sometimes you were a little bit overmatched, but I remember the names of a lot of my teammates back then who I've never seen since then. My coach was Mr. Lyons. We had red uniforms. Yeah, it was a great experience. It was I can't remember anything about it that I didn't love.
Uniform day was a pretty fun day. Now, you mentioned the one you had. Did you have to give it back at the end of the year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had, and even I had to do that. But how exciting was it when they were handing out uniforms? That was one of the greatest days of Little League.
It was. It was great. You didn't know what number you were going to be. You had maybe, I don't remember what number I was. I probably had a favorite number, but if my number was 140, it wouldn't have made any difference. I still would have been proud to put that uniform on.
Yes, he played for the Elks Club, or at least they were the sponsor. That's what I remember, too, was Sonny's Bikes. He always sponsored a team. I played for Dos Bandidos, a Mexican restaurant in town. Those were the teams, man.
Chico's Bail Bonds?
Yeah, well, Chico's Bail Bonds. Yeah. That's how it went down back in those days. Now, Tom, we do happen to have access to some archival footage here. And there's a shot of you wearing blue jeans.
Well, that was just what I was wearing that day. That's not what I was wearing to one of my games. I believe that was 1962, and I was 12 years old. The thing I liked best about the picture was the very cool Ford Ranchero, I think it was called, in the background. My dad worked at the local Ford dealership, and so every 2 months or so, he would get to bring home a different kind of car.
Oh, my.
And my sisters and I probably to this day would say that Ford Ranchero was the coolest one he ever brought home.
Could you sit in the back?
Oh, yeah.
Instead
of fighting to sit shotgun, you fought to sit in the back, sure.
And probably no seatbelts or seats back there.
No
Just a little bit of a different time.
No seatbelts in the front, no seatbelts in the back, metal dashboards in the front, no padding. Yeah, that was the old days, boy.
And everything worked out fine. Nobody got hurt.
Nope, not that I remember.
Amazing. So you played shortstop and pitcher, I'm guessing?
I pitched a lot. I think I played mostly in the outfield, though, pitcher and outfield.
Wow.
I think they watched me field ground balls and realized that as far away from the action as they could put me, the better off I would be.
Man. What about coaching the boys? We were talking to Jeff Bannister about that earlier, and coaching your own kids and how tricky that can be. And obviously you come from a completely different perspective as a big leaguer. What I'm curious about maybe some of the successes and failures, and maybe any advice that you would have for parents when it comes to coaching your own children in the sport.
Yeah, I think you have to take your cue from your kids. Baseball is such a bad sport to sign a kid up for because you want him to play baseball. If you sign up for soccer and you don't really like it, at least in the course of a game, no matter where you are, even if you're standing still, the ball is going to come your way and you'll get to kick it. In baseball, if you don't know how to catch and you don't know how to throw and you don't know how to hit, then the game can be a little bit embarrassing. So make sure your kid loves to do it before you even sign him up.
I got news for you. Even in baseball, when the ball comes your way, you can kick it. I made a career of it. Thank you, Tom. Always a treat. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 3-0 Rays. Rays with the lead, and the Rangers sending their 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Kiner Falefa, Chirinos, and Ryan Rua. Blake Snell put up 4 goose eggs so far and gets a strike in there to Kiner Falefa. Snell looking for his 20th win of the year, and he's currently working with the lead. 1-1. On the dirt again. Kiner Falefa can be patient. Ahead here, 2-1. Pretty rare to see an opposing pitcher win his 20th game in your ballpark. In fact, Rangers fans, fortunately, haven't had to witness that very often. The last time it happened, Jared Weaver, 2012. And there was one other time in this ballpark's history when it happened, and it was Bartolo Colon in 2005.
Really? What was he? What? Angels?
Also with the Angels.
Yeah.
Both times, those guys went 7 innings. Full count on Kiner Falefa. The Rangers hoping that they can delay Snell getting his 20th win of the year tonight. They push that off on somebody else. They're going to have to score some runs. Inside, ball 4. And a good at bat by Kiner Falefa. Rangers have the lead man on. Time for a Chevy game break. Send it back to Rick Reynolds.
He's having a really nice year. Paul DeYoung has done a good job for the St. Louis Cardinals. 19th home run of the season for him. Very quietly, I think a lot of the league not realizing they got another young superstar in St. Louis.
Man on for Robinson Chirinos, who has the only Rangers hit so far tonight. Hey, so Tom wanted me to correct something.
All right.
From our little chat half inning ago. 1-0 pitch. Chirinos for a moment there showed bunt. Now this was the picture that we had of Tom in the blue jeans. He promises me again he was not going to play in the blue jeans that day, just a picture. That car in the background. He said, you know, the picture was 1962. He wanted me to correct that. He said the picture is 1960. Now I'm guessing that's relevant to the car. I gotta believe. That might have something to do with the car. But anyway, that was the picture 2 years earlier than originally thought. His time called.
A new car, he said, every couple of months, right?
Yeah, how cool is that?
Awesome. That's fun. That looked like a cool one. Sit in the back. He probably thought he was the coolest kid in the neighborhood. Back of that car.
Probably was the coolest kid in the neighborhood.
That's a good point.
1-1. Man, that in the dirt. 2-1 the count. You had a car, certainly growing up, or your parents did anyway, where you sat in the back and had a chance to look out, right, at traffic behind you, whether it be a station wagon. We had a Pacer at one point in my life. I rolled around on the back of that Pacer like some
we
bad
didn't have
groceries.
the station wagon that with the bench seat that faced out, but we did have friends that had one, which was a pretty cool experience, and the whole window would roll down.
Yeah, oh yeah.
My dad had one cool car that I regretted that he got rid of. He had a '73 Dodge Charger, 3-speed, right on the steering column.
3 in the tree.
Oh man, I wish he would have kept that car. I wish we still had it. I love that
thing. Well, a good hitters count here for Chirinos. Not a good at bat against Snell the first time around. That'll be the 85th pitch of the evening for Snell. He got Chirinos way out in front. Full count.
Yeah, Robinson Chirinos probably sitting fastball there, right? 3-1. You know that you're going to get something likely 95 to 97 miles an hour. You get geared up for it in that fastball count, and Snell ends up pulling the string and throwing that changeup in there at 85 miles an hour. And Chirinos is way out front.
High pop-up out into right field. C.J. Cron stays right with it.
Man, nice play. We saw Robinson Chirinos look to square earlier in that bat. Well, Tony Beasley did a nice job of kind of walking us through the fundamentals. Take a look at what Tony showed us when it comes to sacrifice bunting.
Now, if I'm out here, I'm already in fair territory. And this is what I want to work from, fair territory. So I want to get out in front. I kind of like get my weight centered here, but kind of on this way. I don't want to be back too much, because if I'm back, I have a tendency to do this or jab at balls that are away from me. I want to be in a balanced position where I'm out over the front, out over, my eyes are behind the barrel of the bat. This basically is creating my angle, presetting my angle.
It's really important, the idea of keeping that bat still, creating angle, whether you're going to the first base side or the third base side. You preset it. You'll see some guys try to jab it out there a little bit late, and it's tough to be consistent when you do that. Your best sacrifice bunter shot, you're squaring early, you're giving it away. You're not trying to surprise anybody, but really important to get that bat angle set way ahead of time. And then also to be up in the box, really important. That gives you much more opportunity to keep the ball fair. You see Robbie right here, and he ended up pulling that one back. Didn't want to offer it that one. It was a strike. And then this one here, you see him square. There it is again, where he pulled back. I'd say, you know, for some guys that they're not as comfortable going out there too early, or they don't want to give it away too early. How many times you see pitchers in the National League? I mean, they're squaring before the other pitcher's even set, like no surprises. And it's something in the game we don't see as much of, right? Kind of part of the analytics revolution, where the idea of giving up and out doesn't always play into your favor, but it's certainly not a bad idea when you're going up against a guy like Snell, who is really tough to score on, trying to get a runner in scoring position. But it is a lost art. And I will tell you this too, for younger teams, younger players, it can be such a weapon if you can get it down right. You don't even have to be a great runner, just a pretty good runner, and you can get yourself a lot of base hits at the youth level if you can learn how to bunt correctly.
2 outs with a strikeout. Gives us a moment to hear from the folks over at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
2 away. Kiner Falefa still at first after the leadoff walk, and Hanser Alberto, the hitter, 0 for 1. Now, you had 16 plate appearances in the big leagues, and I have you with 1 sacrifice bunt. Were you asked to bunt very often?
No, I was actually surprised first time around the National League. I think I got 10 plate appearances and didn't have to bunt once with the Reds. Is that right? 1995, I had 10 plate appearances, no bunts.
Yep. Fly ball, center field. Back is Kiermaier, and just enough room out there, and the inning is done. So the Rangers got a lead man on, but can't move him. We go to the 6th inning, 3-0. Visit your local GMC dealer today. By the Texas Department of Transportation, to remind you to click it or ticket day and night. And by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. We've played 5 so far, 3-0 Rays on top. And our who's in, who's out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. Matt Moore is in for the Rangers. Giovanni Gallardo is the man who is out after 5 innings pitched for Gallardo. Moore will get the bottom third of the order. Kiermaier, Adames, and Sucre do.
See those numbers there, 33 games on the season for Matt Moore. A lot of those came in the rotation, but he has been in the bullpen for a while. We have seen some good outings from Matt Moore. I mentioned this when we see him come out of the bullpen, when the curveball is on, he has looked really good. The fastball plays up a little bit more. That's been a pretty good key to his success when he's had those good outings coming out of the pen.
Catches a corner. So ahead of Kiermaier, 0-2. Kiermaier has singled and walked and scored a run. He was a part of that 3-run 4th inning. In fact, he walked with 2 outs to start their 3-run rally. Chops this one to first base. Easy play for Profar. 1 out. Well, our last post-game fireworks show of the season coming up on Friday. Rangers and Mariners in the opener of that series. After the game, fireworks set to the 2018 season highlights. You get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. That little guy's having a pretty good night. Best seats in the house right there. Check swing, and Adames fouls off a strike.
Almost looked like Dad was trying to talk him into throwing that ball on the field.
You don't think?
I think he was double daring him, knowing he probably wasn't going to do it.
Adames turns this one down to third base. Nice sliding stop. And a great throw by Kiner Falefa, 2 away. Boy, he continues to be just so solid down there at third.
It really is amazing, right? Think about how much catching he has done. And then he can slide over to third base and be a well above average defender at third base. And that's what we're seeing here. You see him react in good hands, the athleticism, it pops up and makes a really nice strong throw. It's a nice back pick. You see the feet moving the entire time toward his target. That's really important as well. Slide and they come up and you keep coming through that throw. It's important for pitchers to do that too. A lot of times pitchers feel like they have all day and they'll just stand there and kind of throw. You always want to make sure your feet are moving as you're making those throws to bases.
Now 2 gone. Sucre singled, doubled. He's fouled this one off. He's in a hole 0-2. Moore taking over in this 6th inning for the Rangers. Based on what we have seen so far this year with Moore out of the bullpen, the idea is he would pitch multiple innings out of the pen. 1-2 the count. Well, the Rangers a lot deeper in the month of September, more arms available in the bullpen, so it's possible that Jeff Bannister would use him for just 1 inning. We'll see. If he gets Sucre here, he would have at least 2 left-handers due next inning. Began the year in the rotation. Moore now pitching out of the bullpen. We're just hoping that there is maybe some success to be found there for him. Did not go as well as everyone had hoped as a starter. 1-2 pitch, and Sucre stays alive. For Moore, this is the 21st appearance in relief. Moved to the bullpen in mid-June. He's held opponents to a .230 batting average since that change. 1-2 pitch, and that's very high. And there's a swing and a miss. He gets Sucre to strike out, and it's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Matt Moore. When we come back, top of the order due for the Rangers. Delano to Shields, Jurickson Profar, and Elvis Andrus to see if they can get some run support.
Blake Snell, and as good as he has been this evening for the Rays, 5 innings, 1 hit. You see the 5 strikeouts, and he was on. The fastball was electric. 85 to 98 at times. the breaking ball. There's a good one to Nomar Mazar that he looked at. There's a good fastball as well to Ryan Ruo. Really well located up and in. Good night for Blake Snell, but the good news is he's done. And certainly the Rangers lineup is happy to see him gone. And Chaz Rowe will come in and take over game number 57. He has had a very nice year for the Tampa Bay Rays. It's a fastball slider combination for Chaz Rowe, and a fastball that sits around 92 miles an hour, and that slider has been averaging around 82 miles per hour. So a little bit of a different look now for the Rangers lineup.
I'd say they have to be relatively pleased. You get Snell out after 5 innings. Now you trail 3-0, but that's not insurmountable. And I think getting Snell out of the game at this juncture has to be considered a bit of an accomplishment. We'll see how they fare against this pin. Big breaking ball in there, and the count 0-2 to the Shields. Twice he has hit a ground ball to second base. He's 0 for 2.
So it was 92 pitches for Blake Snell. I mentioned he had gone as high as 114 this season, so it seemed like he still had another inning in him, and he's been pretty good third time through the order this year. I don't think that's been a problem. 234 batting average against.
Oh, this one lined up the middle. So the Shields is on. It's the second hit tonight for the Rangers.
That's a nice job by Delino in an 0-2 count.
Our WinStar World Casino and Resort leaderboard. Little League World Series. Oh boy. Put on your seatbelts, everybody. United States with 35 championships. Taiwan with 17. Curacao got one with Jurickson Profar. Did not make our leaderboard. And of the United States teams, California has 7 of those 35 championships. That's American dominance. But right. Profar was the champ. And he was one heck of a pitcher. Of course, he had the big home run in the championship game.
That is a great photograph right there. Good extension. Look at the head right on the target. Glove tucked the way you'd like to see. It's pretty good for a 12-year-old.
It looked like he knew what he was doing. 1-1 to Profar.
So you were joking because I was joking earlier. And I always do this once a year when the Little League World Series comes. Listen, I'm all about American exceptionalism, and we are #1. But we also kind of rigged the Little League World Series a little bit. Because we're always in the finals. There's always a United States team in the finals at home. That's pretty good odds. I like that. I like how we set it up.
Oh, this ball blasted out to left field, but Tommy Pham is there.
I mean, poor Jurickson Profar and company. They had to beat the entire world to play in the finals against the United States, and they did it.
Well, we want to invite you to be here on Saturday. It's the last Saturday night home game of the year. Rangers and Mariners. A 7:05 first pitch. All fans are going to get a voucher for a free ticket to select games in 2019. You go to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS and come on out. Final Saturday home game of the year. All right, Andrews takes high here. Elvis has been on both times, reached by an error, and he has walked. Man on with 1 out. Rangers trail by 3.
A little bit of a different feel. That slider, it's a good one from Chaz Rowe. Talked about the good year that he has had, but after that nasty stuff, and it's coming from the left side, so it's also a different look. But the depth on the curveball that Rangers hitters were dealing with tonight. And Blake Snell, that was a tough one. He was locked in. They did a good job, though, of getting that pitch count up, which contributed to him getting out of the game a little bit earlier.
Good bender there. 2-1 to Elvis. Not sure Elvis loved that. That was a pretty good pitch. Elvis was 0 for 4 yesterday in the opener. Also reached on an error in last night's game. And he takes down the middle here. It's 2-2. Southwest Airlines bullpen live look, and the Rays, look, they're not afraid to throw a lot of different pitchers at you on any given night.
Did you say that we are beaking in the bullpen?
I didn't.
Oh, I thought that's what you said. Let's take a beak in the bullpen. No.
It's a 2-2 fouled away. Put one to your head.
I'm never ahead.
Even Elvis is shaking his head.
So against right-handers, Rowe really does like to use that slider to try to finish hitters off. Of the 41 right-handers that he has struck out, 36 have come on the slider.
This ball hit hard to third. Snared down there by Duffy, and he'll throw across the diamond for the double play. Yeah, that will have everybody shaking their heads. Inning over. No runs, a hit, nobody left. We go to the 7th inning. It's 3-0.
Here at Globe Life Park in Arlington, it is Little League night, as we've been talking about throughout the evening, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to share a picture of my favorite Little Leaguer, my son Henry, who is 7 years old, and he just happens to be playing in the same league as one Sam Danzy, who is the grandson of Tom Grieve. So super cool that Tom's grandson and my son get to play in the same Little League together there in Fort Worth, University Little League.
Wow.
That is awesome. But got me really curious, too. What kind of Little League mom is Emily Jones?
Why? What do you say?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Is she the yelling?
Oh.
Is she
yes,
the
she's
nervous?
Be intense.
Is she the nervous mom?
Emily, you're pretty intense as a mom fan?
Well, I try to not be intense. There's a
we didn't ask you try to be. We want to know who you are. Everybody
exactly
can try.
What's going on there?
Every once in a while, I might get a little fired up. But there is a sign that I feel like is very appropriate at our Little League that says, our umpires are amateurs. Please keep your professional comments to yourself.
Oh, nice.
So
That's
I
a
think
good
that
one.
hammers the point home pretty good. I try to be understanding, but it is hard as a parent to watch your kids struggle or deal well with success,
No
not
doubt.
to showboat too much. So it's a learning process, but it's a lot of fun. We enjoy it.
Did you play?
I did not. I didn't do a whole lot as a kid, guys. I don't know how to explain it.
Well, I mean, didn't do a whole lot as a kid.
Well, I mean, I grew up in a small town, and I don't know. My daddy raised my sister and I think he was just trying to keep us alive at that point. And so I don't remember doing a whole lot. I was a cheerleader like once I got into junior high and stuff like that. I attempted basketball. Yeah, that's about the extent of my athletic prowess.
Okay, all right. A little golf, maybe. I'm sure a little golf in there.
I have clubs.
We've heard stories.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Little League mom, the mom of the athlete, plays a huge role, right? During the game, you love the support that you get from your parents, and it really is important to remember that. They don't need to be coached from the stands as much as we want to. It's so hard not to. It really is such a challenge, and I still fight it. But the idea of being supportive, and they love seeing mom after the game, and all they want to know is that mom and dad just liked watching them play and proud of how they played. Win, lose, or draw. It doesn't matter what they did. And that is really one of those feelings that kids remember. And it's important for parents, I think, to remember that. And I read an article by Mike Matheny, who's been pretty involved and has offered some really good advice and worth your time to search it a little bit. But he wrote some letters and some advice to parents about how to handle umpires, as Emily just mentioned, is really important. But then also your kids. And I was really convicted when I read it because he talked about, and there's been some studies on amateur athletes and some of their worst experiences when they look back now that they're older. And across the board, so many of them said the car ride home was the worst part. And I was like, ooh, I do that sometimes, where it's you're drilling your kid on the ride home. Maybe you're asking him questions. You're talking about the game, maybe what went right, but also what went wrong. What would you have done better? And kids forget stuff so quickly. Like when the game is over, they're kind of done with it. They're talking about fun dip and thinking about hot dogs, and we want to talk about, hey, what happened on that ground ball? How'd you miss that one? Or what you want to talk about it. So it's really a challenge, and I challenge parents to think about that after any sport, any game, any event. Daughter or son, it doesn't matter. And think about your behavior and what you say to your child after the game, but especially on that car ride home. It's tough to not want to talk about the game. Let them lead the conversation and see where it goes.
Emily, does that ring true to you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I try not to talk about it on the way home, but I had a really good piece of advice passed along to me. I did a charity event last week with Michael Young, and someone asked him that very question. And he said that he makes it a rule to not talk about the game with his kids while they're in uniform. So if they're in uniform, you don't talk about the game. And so that's kind of a rule that he has passed that along. And I thought that was a pretty good lesson.
That's a really good one. It's hard. It is really hard if you feel like you want to share something, even if in your mind as a parent you think it's going to be positive. Like I said, try to let them lead that conversation would be my advice. And that's a great piece of advice from Michael Young. I like that one a lot. Easier said than done, though, I think, for sure, for a lot of parents.
Ball up the middle, and Duffy with a base hit. Wendell running hard at third, but they will stop him. And so the Rays have him on the corners here in the 7th inning. So I can picture it right now. A lot of parents in the parking lot after the game. Go ahead, take your uniform off. And put your shorts, your t-shirt on here. We're gonna have a little chat before we get in the car.
It's a good way to get around the Michael Young rule.
You know, Michael, I was trying to do as you said. It is hard. It's hard. Hopefully at some point, if the children are still talking to us, they'll realize that it was all meant. It came from a good place.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll write us a letter.
Sell.
I don't know.
That is going to be a tough sell.
G-Man Choi, bouncer, second base, a spin and a throw to second one, but a little extra movement involved in that, so they get the out of Duffy, no double play, and Wendell does score to make it 4-0 Tampa Bay.
This is going to be a pretty tough double play to turn because of that second high bounce on the ground ball, and we'll take a look at the pitch first here from Matt Moore. Looked like that four-seam fastball came back over the plate a little bit, but he still got the weak contact that he wanted. But watch the second bounce. It was the high bounce and then having to wait also with the runner. A little bit of hesitation allowed Choi to beat that out.
So one out, a man at first, and here is Tommy Pham. Pham accommodated us a little earlier tonight in the 3rd inning when we were looking for a double play ground ball. Sure enough, he produced one, a 6-4-3 double play that ended that inning. Matt Moore would certainly be first in line for another one of those right here. 1-1. So when you were playing professionally, was there a good time to have a conversation with you about things that happened in the game?
Oh, I didn't mind if it would happen immediately from coaches. I think that was fine. Although I have talked to some coaches. Don Mattingly actually told me a couple of weeks ago he waits, tries to wait if possible till the next day, unless it's something immediate that they want to get corrected. You know, obviously having a younger team and in that rebuilding mode, there's more teaching happening at the big league level, and he feels like he'd prefer to wait a little bit if possible. He can't always do it. There's times where something has to be addressed immediately.
Pop foul out of play. It's 2-2 on Pham.
But I think going back to that umpire part, that's a tough one too. No kid likes listening to his dad yell at the umpire or his mom yelling at the umpire. And it can get pretty vocal and it can get very uncomfortable. And I think that's another area of restraint as parents that we can be a lot better, make that experience a lot better for our children. There's going to be bad calls. They are Little League umpires.
That's a tough gig.
It is.
It's a tough gig. And I do remember as a kid, that's one of my enduring memories of Little League baseball was Mr. Dishman. He was a local police officer And boy, he was a head coach for a little league team, and he was just awful to the umpires. He was so hard on them. I never had him as a coach. He was an opposing coach, and I was always embarrassed on the field. I mean, it was ugly. And he did it every single game.
Yeah. It's amazing, right, that you still remember that and how uncomfortable it made you, and it wasn't even your coach. It's the same for kids. They don't enjoy that, and then you're also teaching them that too, which you'd prefer not to do, right? Even, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, yes, you can yell at some umpires once you get to college, maybe a little bit in high school, maybe it's going to happen, but up to that point, the idea of teaching them, the idea of respecting all officials, regardless of sport, is really important.
Now 4-0, Rays on top. Choi over at first. And for more, this will be interesting. See how much longer he goes. His 3-2 pitch. And this one out toward right field and drops in there for a base hit. So Choi stops at second. Pham with a base hit.
So we had a little base running tutorial for you, and I was actually just doing this with our team the other day. 11-year-olds running through the bag and what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to hit the base. Tony Beasley runs us through that.
The basic thing is hit the front center of the bag. I mean, that's in a perfect world. Hit the front center of the bag. Stay away from the edges of the bag. I don't care what foot, but try to hit it front and center and then accelerate through the bag. After you pass this bag, you kind of break it down and look to your right. If it's an errant throw, then we can shut it down and try to get our momentum going towards second base. If you hit the sides of the bag, this would chance for this to happen, that to happen. If I hit the top of the bag, if it's wet, I can slip.
Yeah, so really, I think important, and might seem simple, but that's one of those things that if you're not paying attention to it, the little things, and doing it right really matters a lot. And we saw Choi with his ground ball earlier that he beat out, that double play that couldn't get turned. Watch this left foot and where it hits. Perfect right there. That's what Tony Beasley talked about, hitting the front of the bag. You don't want to get in that situation where you hit it wrong, and how many times have we seen that happen? Some injuries. We saw, was it Bryce Harper 2 years ago when he caught the top of the bag?
Yeah.
When he went down.
Slid, right.
It was a little wet, and it was right on the top of the bag. And you know, listen, you're flying, you're getting after it, you're trying to get down there as fast as you can, but you really, in a perfect world, as Tony Beasley mentioned, you are going to either shorten that last step or whatever it takes to make sure that you get the front of the bag. That was a big one.
After the base hit, 2 men on and some changes, but first, this Sunday, it's Fan Appreciation Day. Fans get a 2018 Rangers team photo, complete with next year's schedule on the back, plus a voucher for a free ticket to select games in 2019. You're not going to want to miss all the prizes. Giving away a lot of stuff every inning during the game, including autographed baseballs and jerseys. Just go to TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS to get your tickets. So they announced a pinch hitter, Carlos Gomez, and correspondingly, Jeff Bannister pulls Alex Claudio out of the bullpen.
There are the numbers for Alex this year. Game number 61, 62 2/3 with those 37 strikeouts. It's fastball, sinker, changeup, and slider, and of course pretty much all of those fastballs end up being the two-seam variety. The sinking fastball, we know the great changeup that Alex has and does such a great job. And you may say, well, is this an ideal situation? Well, he does a nice job of keeping right-handers off balance, and that's going to bring us to our Built for Baseball, which is brought to you by T-Mobile. And we talked about this before the series started. Joey Wendell, a Rookie of the Year candidate, would have a better chance at winning in any other year, but there are some good ones this year, and he has been very good so far tonight with a couple of doubles. There's the second double, third hit of the night. That one just happened here in the 7th inning, and so a 3-for-4 night for Joey Wendell is doing a very nice job this season for the Tampa Bay Rays. I would really want to see a changeup, and I want to see Carlos Gomez give us one of those patented huge swings and misses. Hey, look at that. Right on cue. Well, you could almost predict that was coming, right? I mean, we know Carlos well. We know how big he swings. He's coming off the bench, so a good chance he's going to be hacking early. And all Alex did was just throw him a 73-mile-an-hour changeup. If he can do that a couple of times in a row, I'm not sure Carlos can get to it.
1 strike offering. One a little bit down, 1-1. Let's take a look again.
First one was fun. There's a good look at the grip. And you see Alex turn that changeup over and watch this thing just die and fade away. A big swing from Carlos Gomez and a little bit of a smile. And Alex came back again with the changeup. This one below the zone. Couldn't quite get Carlos to offer at that one.
Troy at second, Pham at first. 2-1. So Gomez taking a seat really to allow the young kids a chance to play. His bat cooled down quite a bit. Swings and misses again, way out in front of that one. 2-2.
Think about how many times Carlos Gomez sat in center field and watched Alex Claudio do this to hitters. He's seen it. He's had one of the best views in the house, and this just goes to show you how it doesn't matter. You can watch all day long, but you actually have to get in there and see it. And Alex has got some options here if he wants to do it again or try to get sneaky with the fastball.
Still, they'll look at Troy, who you figure not a real threat to be going anywhere. Gallardo went 5, more an inning and a third. And now Claudio. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And he gets Gomez to strike out 2 away.
Well, after the first one, that was probably a strike, or maybe just off. You see all the numbers there on Fox Tracks. Alex just kept going away and down and away, and Carlos Gomez kept expanding that strike zone along with Alex Claudio. That's good execution. That's knowing your hitter, putting those pitches where you need to get him to swing and miss at them. Nice job by Alex.
So at 2 away, C.J. Cron. They play him straight away on the infield, and he'll take Lowen in for a ball.
What is this nonsense?
Almost looks like a real baseball game. A little shade up the middle there by Alberto at second base. He's trying to keep the runner close. And the pitch on the way, a swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
Really is amazing to watch Alex when he is on, and how he can take some power right-handed hitters and some good hitters and really make them look foolish with that changeup. I mean, they know the scouting report. They know what they're going to see. And it's just so difficult to be able to stay back when he's got that thing working really well.
Into the bat. Look at Claudio. When he was a little leaguer, hit 800. So we have a new leader in the clubhouse.
Wow, that's what I'm talking about. Left-handed relievers. Look out.
Man. Biggest bat, little league bat anyway, in that Rangers clubhouse so far tonight. We've seen 690, 700.
Nice round numbers too. That worked out well.
They're pretty consistent in that regard.
800. You think anybody bragged higher than that? Than 800?
It's hard to leapfrog.
I mean, that takes some courage. I wanted you to see this. Check out the one that C.J. Cron hit that he made contact with. Look where he made contact with this thing. I mean, even a little bit of the bat came off. He didn't. He might have hit the top of the bat. I think he did. I think he hit that where that cup is kind of cut out.
Good spin rate on that foul ball.
You can't hit any less of a baseball than that right there, I don't think, without swinging and missing. Does he even know a splinter came off? I don't even think he realizes it. He didn't get a new bat.
No, he didn't. This one lofted out to center, and DeShields is right there for it, so the inning is done. But the Rays add a run to their lead. 7th inning stretch time here at Globe Life Park. It's 4-0 Rays. 7th inning. We're looking forward to our first ever Whataburger night Globe Life Park. That's going to be on Saturday night. Purchase theme night tickets through the special offer and receive a limited edition Whataburger themed Texas Rangers trucker hat. Go to texasrangers.com/theme nights to purchase your ticket. And yeah, you could get one of these. I was really impressed earlier tonight, CJ, when you saw this hat and you said,
I didn't know.
That looked like a Whataburger hat.
I didn't know what was going on. I didn't see the Whataburger on the side. I was half paying attention when it was brought in, and all I saw was the stripes underneath, which are pretty awesome. I was like, oh yeah, that could be a Whataburger hat, which it is.
It is a Whataburger hat. Yeah.
Pretty awesome. So nice for me. This is another, so this would be, for you, I would guess, certainly for me, what our Little League hats look like, right? Mesh hat.
Sure.
Not as sturdy up top, right? The really weak foam with the ironed-on letter. Do you have the ironed-on letter that would peel off all the time, right? And we went through a phase where this mesh hat was really uncool, right? Now it's back, which is kind of nice. Kind of like the stirrups we had to wear.
Well, you think those are coming back?
Oh, we've seen them around the big leagues a little bit. When guys wear them, maybe they're not coming back in a big way. When someone wears them, I think they're very appreciated by fans. I think they'd like to see that. The stirrups, the high socks.
Absolutely. Lazara hits one on the ground to the left side of the infield, and a nice play made by Duffy. One out here in the 7th inning. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Rick Renner. Thanks, Rick. A new right fielder for the Rays. Carlos Gomez stays in the ball game and takes over out there. Jalen Beeks up high on Beltre for ball 1.
Game number 12 here for Beeks, both with the Red Sox and now here with the Tampa Bay Rays. Wow. We know Adrian will joke around about some calls. That one was... We've seen that actually called a couple times tonight, so I guess we talk about consistency, but Gary Cedarstrom with the up and in getting called quite a bit.
Beltre pops this one up, left side of the infield. 2 away.
So one of the things that we want to get into a little bit is some of the hitting drills that the Rangers do. And we showed you Anthony Iapoce in our open. Well, here was a drill that he and I ran through called front toss.
It's controlled, definitely controlled to where the guy's still working on his moves and work on timing, rhythm, anticipation. Through that, we're able to control maybe a little off speed. Yeah.
Still got it, Coach.
I'm a big fan of that drill. I like that. I want to do it with the kids a lot as well. It's not very hard, obviously, in velocity. You're throwing underhand, but it's a nice controlled setting in which you can work on your swing. And Anthony Iapoce had told us about 5 paces from home plate is where you want to be. And it's much easier to throw, obviously, too, and be a little bit more consistent. But the idea is that you can stay back, stay balanced, stay within control, and just really work on kind of getting that swing where you want it to be.
Line drive right field, and that's a base hit for Kiner Falefa, on for the 2nd time tonight.
Oh, good job here by Isaiah Kiner Falefa. He gets a pitch away, and he drives it away. It's not a bad pitch from a lefty on the corner, but this is a really nice approach from a righty. As you see that foot get down in time for Kiner Falefa. A nice short swing. One of the mistakes you can make, I think, with all hitters, certainly big leaguers don't do it. Why would you do it with young kids? It's just to get in there and start with regular, standard batting practice, right? Where you're just swinging right away without hitting off the tee, without doing any soft toss, whatever it may be. All that stuff is really important. Have we seen one of those this year? Upper deck, that far left. Pretty good swing.
Made it all the way down in the main seating area by the time it was done.
Did it make its way all the way to the bottom?
It did.
Oh, that stinks, because you're up there, you're thinking I'm probably not going to get a foul ball. And then you get one, I don't know what, every 20 games here, if that?
Maybe.
It bounces back down.
1 ball, 1 strike on Chirinos.
Oh.
He was a 700 hitter in Little League.
That's a great note. on the bottom.
Won the batting title.
I mean,
what?
I didn't even know they did that. Well,
a batting title in Little League.
Maybe a little different in Venezuela where they're handing out the, wonder what they would have called it then. Wasn't the Miguel Cabrera Award yet. Who was the greatest Venezuelan hitter, you think, when he was a kid?
Oh,
that's
a good question.
About 20, go back to what, 20 years? Or more than that?
Yeah, probably right at 15, 20.
I'm going to find that out.
I don't recall my Little League, anyway, keeping that kind of statistical information, but I know this much. I wouldn't have won it anyway. There's a swing and a miss, and Torino strikes out. So the inning is done. Rangers leave a man. We go to the 8th inning, and it is 4-0 Tampa Bay. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford SUV season. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. Eighth inning. It's 4-0 Rays. A little more than a half moon out there. Well, Rays sending the bottom of the order. Kiermaier, Adames, and Sucre. Now it's Claudio patiently waiting for Kiermaier to stand in. Kiermaier 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. We opened this series last night. Tampa Bay won 3-0, held the Rangers to 2 hits. Tonight, they lead 4-0 and have held the Rangers to 3 hits. Kiermaier in a hole 0-2.
It's a good slider there from Alex Claudio. He's got that good one that he can sweep to lefties. We talk a lot about the changeup and the fastball, but the slider's been effective pitch against him, excuse me, for him against lefties.
Oh, that was a quick one right there. Carved up Kiermaier, 1 away in the 8th.
Let's get to our Southwest Airlines player breakdown and take you back to this home run in the 4th inning from Willy Adames. That good high leg kick, but look how the head stays still. It's one thing to have a leg kick, but you got to keep the rest of that body still. Don't get out of whack. He certainly did not. Get that one out on Queens Hill in dead center field.
Well, that swing scored the first 2 runs of the game. They would add a run later in the inning, and then another in the 7th. 4-0 Tampa Bay. 11 hits so far tonight. Gallardo went 5. Matt Moore an inning and a 3rd. And now Claudio has retired all 4 batters he has faced. 2 down here with the 8th inning. Well, follow the race to the postseason on MLB.tv. For $25.99, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game. Plus, get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Just go to MLB.tv to take advantage of this limited time offer. Okay, 2 gone, and here is Sucre. CJ, anything in your Little League years that you ended up drawing upon as a major leaguer? Piece of advice, just some sort of comforting word or anything that you got along the way?
I don't know, as a little leaguer, I think as I got to college, some high school stuff, I was a pretty average little league player. I was okay.
No batting titles?
No batting titles. By the way, I think we concluded that it would have been the Louis Aparicio
Oh yeah, Louis
award.
Aparicio probably would have been the name. Yeah. 1 and 2.
I mean, you could see why. I'm right there in the middle. Uniforms didn't have to match back in the day.
Yeah. You're wearing the road uni there.
So look at this picture. So there I am, super goofy, right? You see the guy all the way to the left front row. I'm the next guy next to him, right? I'll show you.
Right. That's you?
Me right there. That's
okay.
My goodness. But the guy next to me, pretty sure he was 15. That was like a 10U league. Rich Madden. There was a kind of a running joke recently, actually, on Facebook when I posted this, and a lot of guys were like, I think Rich was definitely like 2 years older than everybody else. We might have had a little bit of a birth certificate issue. What's going on there for the Orioles? One of my favorite coaches, by the way, right there, the guy on the left. Fantastic. That is something I remember from Little League as far as just how kind and easy he was to play for and made you feel comfortable.
Sucre with his 3rd hit of the ball game.
So you just saw Alberto make a really nice play over at second base. Mark McLemore showed us a very good drill for infielders. I see Rugen Odor do this quite a bit. We're going to let Mac take you through it.
You'll have the fungo hitter coach right there hitting your baseballs and hitting them, you know, fairly hard, 1 hoppers, 2 hoppers. And what that does is it activates your hands. It forces you to use your hands. If you're catching the ball back here, you're probably going to catch one in the chest and maybe in the lips. It doesn't matter if it's forehand or backhand, you're still catching it out front and not back here. That's where you run into problems. So get a bad hop, you can't see it all the way in because you really don't see the ball probably the last 5 to 10 feet when it's coming to you at a nice rapid pace.
I like that drill a lot. We see Rugi out here doing it all the time early with Tony Beasley and doing it with Boo, Steve Buechele. I did it with my guy the other day. Now what they do sometimes, take a look at that ground ball that Alberto made a nice play on. A routine ground ball, does a good job, catches it out front, right? That's the big part of that drill, but also working on your hands the way that Mac talked about. And when you're on your knees like that, you're forced to use your hands, as he said. But sometimes little guys, when you do that, they want to sit back on their legs, right? They think you got to make sure you're up all the way. Otherwise, if you're sitting back, it kind of defeats the purpose of what you're trying to do. So make sure that they're all the way up on their knees. And I go straight, go to the left, go to the right. You know, hit it either with the fungo. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can throw it firm. Make sure you're a good 10 or 15 feet back, if not further, and put a little something on it. Those short hops, let them work a little bit. That's an easy one that you can do anywhere. You don't have to be on a baseball field, right? You can do it in the backyard, at a park. It doesn't matter. But Rugi does that all the time. He's pretty consistent with the work that he does. And there's some other things that he does, and we've talked a lot about the improvements that he has made defensively. So a little back and forth with Jesus Sucre over there at first base.
3 balls and a strike on Joey Wendell. He has 3 hits tonight. And he takes one right there. It's full count.
And I like, too, if you got a guy that maybe is a little scared or nervous, like having some issues with the ground balls, Tom was joking about, right, his issues as a little leaguer in the infield. The Incrediballs, you ever use those? They're a little firm, but they're also soft, so it won't hurt as much. That's a good way if you want to kind of start a guy out who maybe is a little hesitant on ground balls, worried about getting hit. Those ones won't hurt.
Bouncer by third, and that one into left field. Another base hit for Wendell, his 4th of the night. Oh, what an evening he is having. 2 men on here with the 8th inning. We'll take a break right here and hear from our friends over at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
So a couple of 2-out singles against Claudio. And he'll be lifted from this one. 4-0 Rays. New pitcher coming on. And taking a look at our Ford probable tomorrow. Yohander Mendez, 2-0 in his last 3 starts, a 120 earned run average. He'll have the ball in tomorrow afternoon's game for the Rangers. And we don't know yet for the Tampa Bay Rays. Kevin Tash earlier today said, we'll wait and see. Got to see how this one goes tonight. What he has to use in his bullpen. So they will go with an opener of sorts tomorrow. And that will be the final game of this 3-game series. So coverage starts tomorrow at 12:30. A little lunchtime baseball for you. First pitch just a little bit after 1 o'clock.
That is definitely a big part of this, right? As far as the opener and other teams knowing who you're going to use and really who you're planning to use second. I think that's something that is unnecessary. I don't think you have to tell you. I don't know. I think I would leave it to the other team to figure it out. I think baseball has always been very courteous. Teams have to each other with probables. I don't know, man. I think because even tomorrow, as an example, since their opener is up in the air for the Rays, and the Rangers have done this and will try it a couple of times more before the season is over, I'm sure. I don't know, man. I think it's unnecessary to. I think everyone needs to get on the same page, but we just don't know, man. It's always up in the air. Once we know who's starting, we promise to let you know as soon as we know.
Well, Flair over shortstop. That one drops in left field, a base hit. They'll go station to station. Oh, they are now loaded in this 8th inning. We talked to Bandy about that the other day, and they say baseball's always been courteous about that. We do our best to keep everybody informed, and I would imagine that teams would continue to do so. I wouldn't doubt that after the game, he might just hear from Kevin Cash. Cash telling him who he does plan to use tomorrow. So Eddie Butler will be done after that little base hit to left field. C.D. Pelham coming in for Jeff Bannister.
It's going to give us an opportunity to dig in a couple of more of these demos, and another one that Tony Beasley walked us through was that lead off third base and the proper position that you want to be in when you do it.
The thing we're going to do is we get a walking lead or we can get a shuffle lead. Walking lead is when we get right, left, right. Basically, we get our primary lead, and then we just go, when the pitcher starts down on the delivery, we just go right, left, right. Now I got my momentum towards home plate. I'm not squared up to home plate. You don't ever want your chest turned to the catcher, because that's what this invites a throw right here when he sees this. We want to be in this position where our chest is facing the infield, pitcher or second base area. All right, and once we see the ball through the hitting zone, we kind of get back inside, take this throwing lane away, and then just come back towards the base that way.
There was a couple of really good things in there, and some things I had never heard of before. It doesn't matter how much time you spend around the game, you really always have an opportunity to hear something new. And he talked about that right, left, right lead, but then how we talked about turning the chest, and I never thought about that, right? And you think about, that would be a natural reaction when you're at third, right? You're taking your lead and you're watching the pitch, and you would turn. But for a catcher, especially an aggressive catcher, if he looks up and he sees your chest and you're squared up facing him, as Tony just said, that's an invitation to throw down, because you got to turn all the way around to be able to get back, and it could be just that little quarter of a second that could make the difference. And then as you're going back, go ahead and take that throwing lane away in case they do try to back pick or pick you off, right? So you saw him kind of coming up the line a little bit, which means that throw for the catcher is one that you would be able to obstruct legally, the way that you're going back to the bag. So a couple of really good tips there as far as the lead. He didn't care if you hopped or you walked, however you got there. But after the fact, to make sure you don't completely turn and square up to the catcher, especially if you got a catcher with a good arm who's aggressive.
C.D. Pelham comes on here for the Rangers, making his 6th appearance of the year. Bases loaded, 2 out in the 8th inning. And this does seem like a good time to say thank you to Tony Beasley and Anthony Iapoce and the guys for giving us the time and
it was great.
Doing
Mark
so many of these.
to come out to do that. And listen, you get those conversations. I could always spend hours with those guys, and it's nice when they give us a little bit of their time. The coaching staff, and really, we are very lucky here with the Texas Rangers. The access that we have to all the coaches and how great they are, answering questions or doing demos like that, which I think are really useful for obviously not just us on our broadcast, but for parents and for players and coaches watching the broadcast. Anytime, listen, you have an opportunity. If you imagine a Little League coach, talk to Tony Beasley about how my guys should be running through the bag or how they should be taking their leads off third.
This one nearly a mess, but all the Rays base runners held their bases. Sucre not the fleetest of foot down there at third base, so he didn't want to test him.
He didn't look too interested in even really trying to think about going down, so I don't know if he took that proper lead. At the same time, he's probably thinking to himself, it's, if you throw it to the backstop and it's got to kick left toward the dugout, and I might consider
and he trips
trying to
chasing
score.
after it. Sucre, Wendell, and Duffy third to first. 4-0 Rays. And again, all this traffic has started with 2 out. Troy off the end of the bat.
I think that'll be the second piece of the puzzle for C.D. Pelham. He's got the good fastball. Getting the command under control and staying in the zone, I think, is kind of step number 1 that you want to see a little bit more of from him, even at the minor league level. He's getting some nice big league experience here. And then the breaking ball and the consistency of that breaking ball. And I think if he can get that command down, and the breaking ball, the one he just threw right there, was pretty good, you're going to have yourself a pretty good left-hander here that could do some damage in the big leagues. He's got the arm, he's got the stuff. I think he's got the makeup. Just a little bit more consistency, and not surprising. He's young, and it's a power arm, but this could be a future impact reliever for the Rangers.
1-2. A swing and a miss. Strikes out Choi with the bases loaded. Nicely done, C.D. Pelham. And that'll take us to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rangers offense still looking for some life here tonight, 4-0.
Defense tonight by the Texas Rangers. A couple of double plays. You get a look at this one. That is a 6 unassisted by Elvis Andrews, and then another play here by Elvis. Nice toss to Hanser Alberto. Nice play. 6-4-3, and then this one right here. Another 6-4-3. The defense, the great defense of the Rangers continues, and with a couple of guys that don't get that regular playing time. Alberto at second and Jurickson Profar over at first.
Well, first pitch here in the 8th inning. Rua flies out to short center field, 1 away. Bring up Hanser Alberto. Rangers have managed just the 3 hits so far tonight. A single by Chirinos in the 2nd inning. Single by Delano DeShields in the 6th. And kind of Falefa had one in the 7th.
It's amazing. They have 14 hits to the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. Those double plays obviously have done a good job of slowing things down.
And this ball out to the gap, left center field. That one will roll to the fence. Extra bases for Alberto. He has a lead, or rather a 1-out double here in the 8th.
A good stroke there by Hanser Alberto, and a nice job on the base running. And Tony Beasley talked about this with us. Gave us a good demo about taking turns at first base.
Ideally, you want to hit it with your right foot and propel yourself towards second base. I always think the last base should be as close as possible to a straight line. I like to gradually get my angle, and when I hit the bag, I want to hit the inside corner of the bag with my right foot and just kind of push myself here. And we try to create a shoulder lean, kind of lean yourself inside, boom. That way I'm in a straight line to my target.
I like that one too. Another good little tip there with that left shoulder as you kind of dip that in a little bit, help you create that momentum.
Fly ball to center. And Alberto holds second base.
I'll take a look at Hanser Alberto on that turn. Now, we talked about trying to get it with your right foot if you can and creating that straight line. And at that point, Alberto, as he was coming around first, was pretty confident that it was only going to be a double. And so he didn't go as hard as Tony was talking about. But if you got a, questionable double where you got to go hard, the idea of creating as much of a straight line as you possibly can, that means you take a little bit of a bigger turn maybe at first base, and so you're creating that momentum. But I like the shoulder part. That's another thing I'd never heard about before. Dropping that left shoulder just a little bit to help keep you on the inside, create some momentum towards second base.
So 2 gone for Profar. Rangers trail 4-0. Bottom of the 8th. One and one. So Beeks pitched to scoreless 7th inning. Teed up the hit to counter Falefa. He's giving up the double to Alberto here and trying to make it 2 scoreless innings. Chopper right by the mound. Charging Adames. And his quick throw in time. They get Profar. The inning is done. So the Rangers leave another man. This one at scoring position, and it's off to the 9th inning tonight, 4-0.
Park in Arlington. We continue our Little League theme this evening with a trip back down memory lane, asking the guys about their first time, that first home run over the fence.
Do you remember your first over the fence home run?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
I was 10 years old. 10 years old. That was my first one.
Yeah. Did you get like super excited?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I've always had power. So, when I was like 7, you know, we have a little, like our field is super little to right field. Yeah. So I remember I hit one over the tree. So I was like, this is the best feeling ever.
I was 13 years old, yeah, 13, about to turn 14, before I went to the academy. What I signed, yeah.
Dead center?
No, right center.
Yeah, spring training last year.
And totally not a joke, you guys.
That's
Dead
amazing.
serious. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa said his first over-the-fence home run came last year in spring training.
That is so awesome.
I love it.
And then he hit 5 during the season. But that's amazing to me. As the first pitch of the 9th inning, Tommy Pham singles sharply to right field, 15th hit of the night.
I like this reaction too, right? The reaction he had, laughing about it, having fun with it. What do you have? 3 home runs at Minute Maid? Is that right?
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
He his first one there.
Okay.
He had at least the second one there. I think he might have 3 home runs there. What's he have on the year? 4?
Well, let's see. Kiner has 4. No.
I think.
You think 3 of them?
I do.
Are at Minute Maid Park. Huh?
Give me a second. I'm on it.
No hurry. Ooh, inside in. Gomez. That one almost got him. He's been hit 20 times this year.
That is correct. 3 home runs at
3
Minute Maid
of them
Park.
at Minute
Yeah.
Maid Park.
He
That's
joked
crazy.
about how it was small and built for him. That's what he said on the field.
So Pham with that base hit. The 1 strike pitch on the way to Gomez, and he'll foul that away. 0-2. Connor Sadzik on in this 9th inning.
Nice start to Connor's career so far at the big league level. And you see the 7 games, no runs, no earned runs, 5 1/3. 4 strikeouts to 5 walks, but the opponent's batting average very nice so far. Fastball, curveball, slider. We have seen the stuff. It is very good. Good fastball. But not just that it's good velocity, but it's got some good life on it. What you want to see. That pitch has been averaging 97 miles an hour so far here in the big leagues.
Oh, man. Oh, no. Thank goodness he's all right. 21st time he's been hit this year.
Not have a lot of time to get out of the way. You see the fastball there. We've talked about the good velocity. And listen, that's a scary moment. Anytime you see a fastball up and in, there's something to learn there. Watch Carlos as he turns in. That is extremely important. Sometimes you'll get guys, the reaction is to turn forward a little bit. Very scary moment. Glad to see that Carlos is okay and smiling.
All right, so 2 men on. Here in the 9th inning, just flexing. Oh my goodness.
But it is a really, as much as we've been talking about tonight, addressing youth baseball, that is one that I think kids do have a hard time with, is that their reaction on fastballs and pitches that are in are to kind of jump out of the way and sometimes turn toward the pitcher. And you can do a fun little drill with tennis balls. You sit there, you throw them inside and make them turn in. It's obviously not going to hurt as much with a tennis ball, but to try to get that tendency that, you know, you're looking to hit, and if the ball is in, to turn that front shoulder in. Have your back facing the pitcher. I see it all the time where they look up and they turn toward the pitcher with their face facing him, and it's something that can be very dangerous.
Crone takes outside 2-0. The other thing is, and this is smaller, this is not so much a physical concern, but you see this sometimes when a ball comes way in on a guy and he turns away from it like that, and he remains holding the bat high back above his shoulder, and you'll see sometimes the ball hit the bat.
Yep.
And they teach guys to drop the bat as they turn away as well, so that you don't accidentally make contact with it when you're turning away, because then sometimes that'll turn into an easy out. Fly ball out to right field, and Mazzara takes care of it, tagging at second and heading to third. Pham, and he's in there easily. Go back to first. Not in time either to get Gomez too far off the base, so 1 out.
It's a good job here by Nomar Mazzara in these situations. When you have high fly balls, you know there's a chance that there's going to be a play. You want to make sure you get behind the baseball and come through it. So you see Nomar right here. So as he's catching it, he's coming forward so he can get some momentum on that throw. He does a good job of hitting his cutoff man, which kept Carlos Gomez at first. If you don't hit the cutoff man right there, Carlos Gomez is gone at second base. You see him coming off aggressively, just hoping that ball was going to miss cutoff man in that spot so he could keep going. If you have enough time, you need to get behind that baseball so you get a good throw.
Gomez takes off for second, and he'll have a steal easily. Elvis and Carlos chatting out there near second base. 2-minute scoring position. Kiermaier swings and misses. It's 1-1. Base hit, a walk, and a run scored today for Kiermaier. 1 for 3. Rays trying to continue an incredible run for them. 83 wins, 66 losses. That one fouled away. The Rays have run 12 of their last 15 games.
You know, the other thing you worry about when you get a situation like that, of course, all concerns are first toward Carlos Gomez, but then also for Connor Sadzik, too. Right? When you throw a pitch like that, feel pretty bad about it. And it's very easy to get tentative as a pitcher after the fact. And he wasn't even trying to go in there. They're actually trying to throw that ball just kind of above the zone. There was no intent to go in. It got away from him. But when the time comes to go in, he can't afford to be tentative.
What picks up a strike out of Kiermaier?
So we had a situation where in that spot with Kiermaier, he's trying to get the ball in the outfield and potentially drive a run in with a sacrifice fly. Tony Beasley showed us the proper way to tag up at third base.
That's right. Okay, the ball's hit. It's in center field. I just want to get back to the bag, chest to the ball on this position right here, and I just want to get in a position where I can push off the bag and get some momentum going towards home plate. So as soon as he catches it, boom, get started to my target.
Chest to the ball wherever the ball is. Make sure you're facing it. Same thing if the ball is in right field or in left field, but pushing off, getting a little bit of momentum as that ball is caught. Seems simple, but it's those little things that can make the difference on a close play.
This ball off into the bat, out there to left field. Rua puts it away, and the inning is done. So the Rays leave a couple in scoring position. Now it is the last chance for this Rangers offense, trying to avoid a shutout tonight.
Two of the best on this Rangers ball club. Well, Tony Beasley showed us the proper way to do that.
Bunting for a hit, we're taking a shot. So exactly right. Unless he's playing us way back and just giving it to us, then yeah, we want to be closer to the edges. Fundamentals of it as a setup, kind of a hitter sets up the way he normally sets up. He kind of waits till the ball's pretty much right out of the release point, and boom, he kind of just steps back, just kind of gets soft here, and just gets his angle and bunts it. I try to put either X's or circles. I'll use X's today. Now, as opposed to focusing on where I want the bunt to end up, I try to minimize it to right here. Make everything close. Give them a target to hit directly in front of them.
It's another thing I'd never seen before, which I like. The idea narrow that focus and get it a little bit closer, almost like bowling, right? If you use those little, whatever those markers, those triangles that are only, what, 10 feet in front of you as opposed to looking at the pins. And I think that makes a lot of sense with the bunt. Put a couple of targets right out in front, the way that Tony Beasley showed you. Mark it in the dirt and just shoot for those spots only. And if you get the ball to hit that spot, you're going to be in pretty good position to get yourself a bunt hit. And the Rangers have been good, right? Delano DeShields, 10 of those this year. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Rougned Odor's 8 bunt hits is the second most in baseball this year. Now he is tied with Deke Gordon, Matt Carpenter, who also have 8.
Andrews starting off the inning, and Ryan Stanek, oftentimes an opener for the Rays, coming on here in a 4-0 game in the 9th.
You see game number 54, so I thought maybe there was a chance he would be their opener tomorrow. No, he still could be if he has a quick inning, which would be pretty unbelievable. When's the last time we saw a guy finish a game and then pitch the next inning to start the game?
Strikes out Elvis to begin the 9th inning. So Stanek, the 4th pitcher of the day. Blake Snell, 4 shutouts. Chaz Rowe and Jalen Beeks chipped in with 3 shutouts combined, and now Stanek. Mazzara 0 for 3. Strikeout and a couple of ground ball outs. And there's strike 1.
So I wonder if there's a number there as far as where the Rays would be comfortable as far as pitch total. If they're even thinking
if you're going to bounce him back to start tomorrow.
Yeah, if it's even on the table for them as a possibility.
It's interesting because you're talking about 15 hours from now.
Still be loose.
Ahead 0-2 here.
What's funny about the pitch smart is it actually goes up to age 22. That's where it stops. So they have a 19 to 22. They say 0 days rest up to 30 pitches. So if you throw more than that, 31 to 45, then you need a day's rest in between outings. I'd say for him, I'd keep it. It was under 15.
Yeah,
I'd feel comfortable doing it. 18's fine. Let's see if he's done this where he actually has had back-to-back outings. I think he's had back-to-back starts, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. So I don't know that this means that it's out of the question at all. Little bouncer by the mound and charging for it. Into play, Wendell, 2 away.
You mentioned Tom and tried to call him out on the jeans. Of course, like you kind of put this on the map. You and Kelly Leak. Kelly Leak was jeans, wasn't he? When he first came out and tried out, I think he was.
Not aware.
It's kind of a sassy stance you got going there a little bit.
Yeah, no, listen.
And you brought it back again the next year.
Yeah, that's when I played for PSL.
Yeah.
We were pretty good.
What did that stand for?
I have no idea.
Something league.
I know. I mean, because it was Go Baseball. Gehring Organized Baseball was the name of the league.
So you think that was your sponsor?
Probably, yeah. Oh, good play by Beltre. Yeah, so the jeans were just unfortunately at that time where I lived, that's how we rolled.
Yeah.
We didn't have the pants.
And listen, the pants weren't that great anyway. They're better than jeans, but you had to turn them back in. They were polyester. They were pretty worn out when you got them, at least at the Suffern Little League that I had to play in. I got to play in.
We eventually, couple years, right? My last couple of years, we got to wear actual baseball pants, and therefore the stirrups as well, right? Which was sort of the big key. Because it was funny listening to Tom talk about that earlier, putting on the uni, the stirrups, the whole thing, and you just felt like it was quite the production. It was a full uniform, and that felt cool.
Was it a shared helmet league?
Oh yeah,
yes,
absolutely. About 2 helmets and 2 bats.
You had the one that fit great. The other one, if you had to wear it, if the other guy had it, he was at second base, and you had to wear the one that was too big with no padding in it. That was a fun helmet.
That was the
a fun
worst. Yeah.
That probably isn't very healthy. You don't really see that anymore.
They seem to have moved on past that. Beltre hits this one high in the air out to right field. And it's a 1-2-3 9th inning. Wow, the Rangers shut out for 2 in a row. And they used 4 pitchers to do it tonight. That was also the 20th win of the season for Blake Snell. So we saw a few things here tonight. But it was a fun night on the Little League side, CJ. And great job on all those demos, by the way. That was fun. All right, Rick Renner, Tom Grieve, and Pudge Rodriguez, none of them in jeans. We'll have all the player reaction and breakdown from this one tonight. For CJ Nitkowski, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond, also not in jeans. Stay with us. More coverage of Rangers baseball coming up right after this.